Kitchener is situated on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee people. We recognize and appreciate our responsibility to serve as stewards for the land and honor the original caretakers who came before us. Our community is enriched by the enduring knowledge and deep-rooted traditions of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit, and we recognize that a more comprehensive approach to reconciliation.
You're looking live inside Jack Couch Park here in Kitchener. This is Panthers TV as we are just getting set for the national anthem. Happy Canada Day, everybody. It is a battle of Highway 7 between the Kitchener Panthers and the Guelph Royals. Mark Perry alongside Ian Jodrey, and well, the Kitchener Panthers just trying to put some bad losses in behind them against a Guelph Royals team that has won 12 of 14. It's just been unbelievable stuff as we're going to get set for the anthem, and we'll get you set for first pitch right after. It is game time here at Jack Couch Park. Beautiful, humid day here on a Wednesday afternoon. It's a sweltering one. 33 degrees, sunshine, a mix of sun and cloud, in fact. And everybody is going to be feeling the heat, Ian, because this is as hot as it gets in the summertime here in Kitchener-Waterloo and around southwestern Ontario. We're already sweating here in the booth. Can only imagine how they're feeling on the field. As we take a look at the starting lineup for the Kitchener Panthers, it'll be Matteo Zeppieri, Petey Kiefer, Yasvani Penalve, 1, 2, 3. And there you see the rest of the lineup as well. Notable switch up, Malik Williams playing as the DH today, Trent Lawson over at first base.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see after we saw Malik have the day off last game, despite being one of the hottest hitters on the Panthers team and not in the CBL at that. It's good to see Malik back in the lineup. You have Trent Lawson at first base, so a bit of an upgrade there defensively, but it also gives you the option to potentially bring Josh Williams off the bench later in the game. And as you mentioned, Mark, it's going to be a hot day. Wouldn't surprise me to see some pinch hitters later in the game. You said the 32 degrees feels like 46 with the humidity, no doubt. It can be tough out there, especially if the game can drag on, and these players not just going to have to battle a red-hot Guelph team, but a red-hot temperature as well.
Well, there you see the umpires on the screen. It'll be Hudson Gagne calling the balls and strikes in behind home plate. Ben Mercier is the crew chief. He's at first. Trevor Bertrand is over at third. Let's take a look quickly at the Guelph Royals lineup. Garrett Takamatsu leading things off. Anthony Gilbert, probably the hottest hitter in the Canadian Baseball League right now, batting in the 2-hole. Miguel Geraldo, Victor Mascai, Connor Morrow, Davis Nadal, J.D. Williams, Matthew Ward, Ashton Patterson rounding out 1 through 9. Notable there, no Ryan DeSantos for the Royals today. And Garrett Takamatsu, he's been in the leadoff role in and out for the last couple of weeks, and he's been mashing the baseball as of late too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look at his last 6 games, that sample size, batting over 400 and an OPS up over 1,100, coming off, a game earlier in the month against Toronto where he went 3 for 4 with a homer. He's been a big part of the Guelph Royals' success, and we look at earlier in the season when these two teams met, and Kitchener got to 5-3, Guelph went to 0-5. Boy, oh boy, didn't realize the turning point that would be in the season, because both teams have been trending in complete opposite directions ever since these two teams met for the first time.
Well, here is Garrett Takamatsu to lead things off, but immediately it looks like there's going to be a conversation between Pete Kiefer, the field manager, and the umpires. By the way, the umpires wearing their Canada Day Reds today, and something is being discussed here.
Oh, the dirt on the first base bag.
There is some dirt at the first base bag. Yeah, very muddy area there over at first base, and you can kind of see it's a little bit of a wet patch in that area as well.
Yeah, I saw the sprinklers come up, about half an hour before first pitch to, get the infield sprayed and make sure that the dust wouldn't be flying up. It's always, good to have that field maintenance, but if you ever have one to malfunction and spray too much water in one spot, yeah, it can create a swamp over at first base. And I think, if anything, this hinders Evan Elliott, who, has been in the bullpen ready to go. He's set to, throw his first pitch of the game, and now he has to wait, and he's just going to try and stay loose while they discuss a solution.
Yeah, and you think about that muddy area. You think about all the plays at first base, whether it's a guy running through to get on base, a first baseman like Trent Lawson trying to hold on to first base. Maybe a pitch goes offline. That one slip in that mud could be the difference between him, having the balance to make the grab, to finish off a ground out. A guy that gets to first base, perhaps, wanting to have a chance to steal. Maybe slipping in that mud and not getting enough grip to either get back to first base or not getting enough of a jump to try and steal second.
No doubt about it, player safety has to be paramount. The good news is it's one of the hottest days that they'll play in this year, so it should dry up pretty fast.
Well, it is Canada Day and a big slate of Canadian Baseball League games. Two games will take place later on tonight. Barrie in London and Toronto in Welland. And today you have this game, as well as a game that just got underway in Brantford. The Red Sox taking on the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And as we are into July, Ian, of course, voting has been extended for the All-Star Showdown in Chatham-Kent, which is happening next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. And in between that, Kitchener, they got 3 games against Brantford, some must-wins in there as well. But again, if you want to get your votes in for your favorite Panther, and for Royals fans listening, Royals fans, if you want to get your votes in for your favorite Guelph player as well, get on the CBL website and get your votes in today.
Yeah, after today, just the 4 games left for each team leading into that All-Star break. You mentioned after this, the Panthers have a couple games against the Red Sox, which, at any given time, any team can win. But after the heavyweights that Kitchener has had to face as of late, games against Barrie, 2 against Welland, and now playing Guelph for the second time in 7 days, those are the kind of games that you really need to take advantage of. They're going to get Brantford on Friday, a little home and home with them. Those are the kind of games you got to take advantage of, especially at this point in the season where you're 7 games under 500, trying to find your identity. And we talked about it before the start of the broadcast, Mark, just about the separation between the playoff teams, the non-playoff teams right now. Those top 5 have really started to separate themselves. And if you want to even have a shot at it in August, you got to, find a way to play 600-700 baseball in the month of July, or else you're going to be out of it in the last month of the season.
Oh, and that's exactly what Guelph has been able to do since going 0-5. And I mean, you mentioned it, the separation. Hamilton is a game and a half behind Barrie and London for first. They are separated by 5 games from the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, who are in the 6th spot in the Canadian Baseball League. That's a sizable difference when you think about the way these teams have been playing.
Pretty incredible. And then, everyone saw the result last night in Hamilton between the Cardinals and the Majors, and Hamilton has really turned it on after a slow start to the season. Obviously, they've done a great job bolstering their pitching staff, making them arguably the most lethal rotation in the CBL. And on top of that, they've been hitting the ball exceptionally well. They've been playing well to their home ballpark, which is one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks in the CBL. It's all come together for them, and if they continue to play like this, there's no doubt about it that they're going to be a playoff team come the end of the summer.
Pete Kiefer looks like he's bringing out the bucket for the dirt. You're not going to let this drip dry, even with the heat that we're feeling right now. You have to do something with the dirt. to get that all cleaned up, because that is not going to dry very easily. Is there you get a look at Pete doing some grounds crew work here today.
Yeah, it looks like this this substance that they use often, I believe it's called quick dry, and it's a little different than the infield dirt, but once it's all blended together, it usually works out quite well. And it can dry up, any sort of pooling on the infield. And ironic that these teams meeting for the second time in a week, and last game was also delayed because of rain and a wet field to start the ball game. They eventually got things underway, and a similar delay here today, but for different reasons.
Well, you can tell where he poured it. You can't miss it. They're just trying to tap it down. Dino Ramel, the field manager for Guelph, also in there too. And
yeah, this kind of feels like a situation where we need to get a rake in there and kind of spread it all out and make sure all that extra water and moisture gets absorbed and makes for a uniform area. We mentioned Trent Lawson, not the usual starting first base, and in fact not really a regular in this starting lineup, but he might have some challenges if he's got a low throw here in these early innings, because that is probably not going to be the consistent bounce that he's used to over there.
Well, they've poured all the dirt that they can at the moment. I'd imagine they might do a second layer of it just to try to pat it down and get it acceptable. But, yeah, we're in a bit of a delay here as they take care of that. Let's throw it to break. We don't want to give all the material out just before the game begins. Let's throw it to break. We'll be back on the other side. Stay with us. You're watching KPTV Live, the Royals and the Panthers on Canada Day in a bit of a delay.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me in. Yeah. Can't answer my phone now. Just leave it there, that tone. Ballin' can't beat me up, cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now.
All right, welcome back to KPTV Live. Mark Perry, Ian Jodry here with you. Looks like they have it all cleaned up over at first base. So let's take a look at the starting pitcher for the Kitchener Panthers. It is going to be Evan Elliott making the start here this afternoon.
Yeah, Elliott so far this season, 7 starts under his belt. Did have 1 relief appearance earlier in the year, a 5.65 ERA, and coming off a start against Guelph his last time out, where he didn't look too bad in the early stretches, but they got to him the 3rd time through the order. Only ended up throwing about 65 pitches. Didn't make it out of that 6th inning and allowed the 4 earned runs. Kept the walks down, which is good, but not the kind of swing and miss that we're used to seeing. Relied a lot on, painting his corners. Through 39 strikes of the 65 pitches he threw, and after not pitching more than 4 innings in his last 3 appearances, Elliott now has pitched at least 5 innings in his last 5 starts, so good to see him go deeper into games, but we've still only seen him throw more than 70 pitches once this year. So with, a busy stretch, this past weekend and now into later this week, got to wonder what kind of leash Elliott is going to have today against this Royals lineup.
Well, you take a look at his innings pitched. He's pitched in 36 2/3 so far this year in these 8 appearances. You contrast that to the 12 starts and 12 appearances he made last year. 60 innings of work he got in. So he's nearing what he had last season in terms of the games he's pitched in, but he's only about halfway through his innings pitched. So you're seeing that he's getting less of a workload here this season.
Yeah, now we've seen him at least go 5 innings his last couple starts, which is good to see.
First pitch swinging by Garrett Takamatsu, and he'll just fly it out over to right field, and just like that, there's one away. Let's take a look at the defense for the Kitchener Panthers here this afternoon, pitching in behind Evan Elliott. It'll be Yasvani Penalve, Matteo Zeppieri, and Rafi Gross working the outfield. Fuji, Kiefer, Scansey, and Lawson in the infield, and Junior Ibarra is in behind home plate. Upstairs for ball 1 here on Anthony Gilbert.
And since the start of the season, Pete Kiefer has kind of been tinkering with that outfield. This time a different lineup, and we saw Penalve mostly in right field, all of last year and at the start of this season, but they've shifted him around. We've seen Gross at the start of the year. He was mostly the center fielder. I really like him in that spot, but looked pretty comfortable out there the other night in right field against the Jackfish. So, might as well tinker with things. Things aren't going your way. Having lost 11 of your last 13, it doesn't hurt to try and switch things around in the outfield.
Well, Gilbert, as mentioned, probably the hottest hitter in the CBL as he takes one upstairs, and the reason for it is the approach that he takes at each at-bat. Not afraid to go deep into the count, and a guy that once he matches one, he's going to match a couple. He's only had just a handful of 1-fers and a whole lot of 2 and a whole lot of 3-fers, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, as we're officially into July, looking back at the month of June, Garrett Takamatsu was just absolutely on fire. A 1431 OPS in those 7 games to go along with a homer and 10 runs driven in, and got on base a lot too. 12 walks in those 7 games.
Here comes the 2-2 to Gilbert. Flares one high, and that one's going to great to Zane Scansey for out number 2. And you need that if you're Evan Elliott. You need a lot of quick outs here.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the way he, kind of attacks the game, a pitcher that likes to move fast. Talk about his difference from last year. Last year really relied on a lot of strikeouts and swing and miss. Hasn't really changed the stuff a whole lot. I think he's kind of just changed the way he attacks hitters. He's still that pure power guy with that big arm and that put-away fastball and the big slider, but he's done a good job this year really relying on his defense and pitching to soft contact, and he's been successful, in those games when he's gotten those quick outs and, been able to pitch deeper into games.
Well, here is Miguel Geraldo. He's hitting .433 in his last 7 games, as he has really picked things up as of late. 13 hits, not a home run on his ledger, but not really known for that home run power. The 0-1. That one misses inside.
Yeah, not only does he bring that contact swing, but he's also great at finding the gaps and turning on the jets. Seen a lot of doubles over the last couple of weeks, and 1 through 9, this Guelph lineup is dangerous, but Geraldo gets a lot of credit for what he's done over their hot stretch.
Chopper down the line. That's going to be snagged on the hop by Lawson. He'll get it over to first in time, and it is a 1-2-3 inning, just what the doctor ordered here for Evan Elliott and the Kitchener Panthers. As there you see Zepieri, Kiefer, and Penalve will lead things off for the Panthers in the home half of the inning, as they will take on Liam Watt, who really gave the Panthers fits his last time out.
Absolutely. I mean, he was brilliant. He's been great ever since the Royals acquired him, earlier in the month of June, signed him back on June 5th, and just kind of been the ultimate contact manager. You look at those 21 innings he's pitched, only 3 walks allowed, so doesn't issue many free passes at all. Last time he pitched here was last Thursday here at Jack Couch Park. Only needed 56 pitches to get through 7 innings. His 1.71 ERA this season, 4th lowest among qualified pitchers in the CBL. So Liam Watt, an excellent addition to this team, who is, as a collective unit, have just been clicking at the right time. And anytime that Watt's been able to deal, the offense has been able to pick him up and support him. And as a unit, they've looked fantastic.
Big number 16 out of Burlington, his 2nd season in the league. He played for the Royals back in 2023. And he's got that arm going for him for sure. I mean, when you have an ERA that low in these conditions, in this economy, you're doing something right.
Yeah, we talk about the ERA and the runs being up across the CBL throughout the season, especially in the last couple of weeks, but Liam Watt has still found a way to weather the storm and make, his stat lines look somewhat reasonable and human. And not only that, but you compare him to pitchers around the rest of the league, and he has been fantastic. Not going to be an easy task for these Kitchener hitters here today.
We'll lead things off here with Matteo Zepieri. And Zepieri coming into today, hitting .243 on the year. As he'll take a first pitch strike. Flares one up high, and getting on over to it is Anthony Gilbert.
A lot of soft contact from both hitters, both pitchers, I should say, to start this game. Zepieri has been swinging a hot bat lately, another home run, but that one just ran in on his hands, and nothing he could do to keep that in play.
Let's take a look at the defense in behind Liam Watt here today. It'll be Ashton Patterson, J.D. Williams, and Davis Nadal working the outfield as a first pitch strike goes across for Petey Kiefer. Takamatsu, Gilbert, Geraldo, and Maskai working the infield. Matthew Ward is in behind home plate. That one is going to get through the hole for a base hit as Kiefer gets on board with a 1-out single.
We've seen what Petey Kiefer can do earlier in this season. Came in last year around the transaction deadline, but when he's on and swinging the bat like we're used to seeing, he's almost unstoppable. Does a great job getting on base. Sometimes does a great job running the pitch count up. Also a threat on the base paths, and that time just a solid piece of hitting. Takes the fastball right back where it came from.
Our scoreboard is back on. You can tell it's hot when the scoreboard starts to shut down here at Jack Couch Park. I know it's a new one. It just got installed last year, but sometimes technology can even bite the dust in a sweltering environment such as this. The 1-0, swing and a miss by Penalve.
After such a hot start to the year, Penalve has really cooled down over the last couple of weeks. Coming in today, just 4 for his last 22. Over the 2 games against Welland between Saturday and Monday, went 0 for 8 in that stretch. We know he can pick things up in a hurry and get back to an on-base streak like we saw at the start of the year, but right now he's in a bit of a funk.
See, is up in the count here, 2-1. The delivery, that is going to go across for a strike just at the knees. Yeah, just hitting 185 in his last 7 games. When you think about the starters, he's 12th on the team in that category since June 14th. The 2-2, and that's going to miss downstairs. You see that rangy delivery from Liam Watt. He curved that one in, trying to look for that bottom corner. Didn't get it that time, but you can kind of see that potential with the way he can just direct things. The runner's going to go, throw into second base, and he got him. Kiefer gets caught stealing second, and it's a strike him out, throw him out to finish off this inning. We're through 1 here at the couch. No score between the Royals and the Panthers.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me in. Yeah. Can't answer my phone now. Just leave it there, that tone. Ballin' can't beat me up, cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now.
Welcome back, top of the second here at the couch on Canada Day. Beautiful battle between the Royals and the Panthers. Scoreless through 1, and here is Victor Mascai, the first baseman. 9 pitches needed for Evan Elliott in the first inning. That's going to miss inside.
Efficient inning, no doubt about it. And
yes,
talked earlier about how Evan Elliott, hasn't really gone very deep in a pitch count this year. I've only seen him go over 70 pitches once. But when he's thrown deep into games, he's had a lot of success, and the Panthers generally have, had success as well. So if he can keep that pitch count low and get into the 5th, 6th inning with it right around that 60 pitch mark, that's a good sign if you're the Panthers.
Mascai hitting .406 in his last 7. Been one of the catalysts for this team. Again, among the team lead in hits as of late, and a lot of them have been in very clutch situations. The 3-0, that one is laced to Scansey, and he will make the catch.
It's really the first hard hit ball we've seen off Evan Elliott today. You know, a lot of soft contact, a couple pop outs and ground outs in that first inning. That's what he relies on. You know, we've seen the strikeouts down this year, but I think overall it's going to pay off for him in the long run.
Well, here is Connor Morrow, just his 6th appearance of the season. But he has been racking up the hits already, 8 for 22 on the year. Squared up to bunt, and that's going to paint the outside edge anyway for strike one.
Yeah, limited action in the month of June. Only played in 3 games, had 13 at-bats, but, you know, made the most a couple times. A few extra base hits here and there, 1,300 OPS in those few games he played last month.
That one's just going to miss as Elliott was trying to paint that outside yet again. Just didn't get it that time. Gets set for the 1-1. Ibarra setting up outside. There's a swing, and he got a piece of it, but it's going to catch Junior, and he's got to take a second here.
You mentioned Morrow in the limited action. We've talked about so many bats in this Royals lineup that have contributed to this, you know, incredible stretch that they've been on. Their last game Sunday in Brantford kind of just, you know, sums it all up in a nutshell. All 10 Royals that had a plate appearance reached base safely, and 9 of the 10 had a base hit. Just kind of goes to show it's been a by-committee effort, and you know, there's no breaks for a starting pitcher at any point in this Guelph lineup.
Even Jeff McLeod got a hit in that one. The rangy veteran Jeff McLeod came in to pinch hit, and he was able to get on base with a hit as well. So everybody's doing it, even when they're seeing limited action. The 1-2, that one's skied high into the outfield. Gross gets underneath it, and he will make the catch.
This is the kind of start you want from Evan Elliott. We mentioned the last time that he faced this Royals lineup, the trouble kind of came in the later innings when he faced them for a third time through. First time through the order, he's looking efficient, not getting hit too hard, and hasn't had to throw a lot of pitches. Those first pitch strikes have been crucial to Elliott's success this season.
Well, that'll bring up Davis Nadal. The right fielder who has seen some time in the infield as well. A very, very rangy player, can play a bit of everything. That one's going to miss outside for ball 1. Nadal hitting .270 on the year, big 6'4", 260-pounder. Doesn't look like it from up here.
Not at all, and you know, last time that they were here, I believe he was playing over at third base, and you know, looked great, and just kind of, you know, speaks farther to what you said, where they can plug him in anywhere, and anytime that you're a, you know, utility player that can be moved around, just does so much for your manager and makes their job a lot easier.
The former Pittsburgh Pirate farmhand. The 2-0 swings through that one for strike number 1. You know, listed as a pitcher on the CBL website. So again, that just speaks to just how he plays everything. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Good answer from Elliott. Haven't seen him go to that fastball a lot today, and even down 2-1 in the count, he still challenges Davis Nadal, goes upstairs to the lefty with the big fastball, and that time Elliott wins the battle to even the count.
Really working it now. I think our booth is starting to get crowded up here just to get out of the sun. Here comes the 2-2. Gets a piece of it, and Nadal stays alive. Has hits in his last 3. 8 of his last 9 as well. And you don't need guys to just be, oh, let's do a 2 for every single game, a 3 for every single game. If you can get 1 for and just consistently contribute, you'll make a difference. That's fielded by Scansey over to first, and not in time. as legging that one out as Nadal got quick out of the box, and he's on with an infield single.
Yeah, a fairly routine play for Scansey going to his right. Wasn't hit particularly hard, so had to hurry. Didn't make the strongest throw over to first base. You pair that with the wheels of Nadal, and he gets in there by just a hair. Tough one for Evan Elliott to give up his first base run of the game. Had been pitching really well, and now the Royals have second life.
Well, Mr. Left Turns Only comes up in J.D. Williams. And he'll just pop that one in behind for strike one. And again, JD, a guy that has seen limited action himself all season long, a very crowded outfield for the Guelph Royals as Dino Ramel and the coaching staff really, plugging in a number of different outfielders. I mean, again, Patterson, Williams, Nadal, the three here today. Guys like Andy Leader, part of this roster. We mentioned Ryan DeSantos also in there as an option to use. They have a lot of depth.
Absolutely. I mean, the Panthers saw this team just 6 days ago, and it's a much different looking lineup than they saw then.
Grab there. Over to first, and that's going to be offline. And heading on over to third is Nadal, thinking about going home, but he's going to stay put. As J.D. Williams will get on over to second.
Great play by Fuji just to knock that ball down and keep it in the infield, but the throw ends up pulling Lawson off the bag as it goes up the first base line. Fortunate that it didn't bring in a run, but tough one for Evan Elliott. He's got two potential inning-ending ground balls, and now the Royals have two in scoring position, and Elliott is going to face a bit of pressure now, try and tap dance his way out of this.
And that just goes to show you the trickle-down effect. One small thing can lead to big things. As Nadal, he legs out that infield single, and all of a sudden there's two out, and there's two runners in scoring position here for Matthew Ward. And they are going to charge Fuji with the error on the throw, so JD will not get tagged with a hit. That's going to miss inside for ball number one.
Well, it was in the fourth inning on Monday where the Panthers infield committed 4 errors, and that one really unraveled and got away from them in a hurry and forced Sam Quintana out of the game. Don't want a repeat of this, but still just 1 out away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Takes a look over at second at JD. Here comes the delivery. That one's going to miss inside and down for ball 2 here on Ward. And Ward, another guy that, would like to rack up some hits with a little bit more consistently lately. Has an average under 200 coming into today since that benchmark of the last couple of weeks, June 14th.
Yeah, coming off a 2-for-3 game, and his last 6 games still looking at a 780 OPS, right around the league average.
Set up outside, the 2-0, holds off on the swing, but it goes right across Ottawa Street for strike one. So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Ward, the 25-year-old out of Mississauga. And that one's going to miss down and in for ball 3.
And now Ward's definitely going to be looking for something over the heart of the plate. First base is open, but Elliott obviously does not want to load the bases, and definitely a hitter's count. Ward will be looking for something middle in.
Surely not with Ashton Patterson upcoming. You don't want him up with runners on. The 3-1. That's going to go across for a strike, and just barely it paints the outside. But catches a little bit of the black. So the runners will be off. That one is over the head of Kiefer. 1 run comes in to score. No throw from the outfield. 2 runs come in. It's a 2-out, 2-run single from Matthew Ward. That'll put Guelph up 2-0.
Just a great piece of hitting. Got that fastball up in the zone and a line drive into left field. No chance for Petey Kiefer to leap and make that play. And it all goes back to that play from Zane Scansey at second base, a routine grounder that he should have been able to hit Davis Nadal at first, and because of that, the Royals end up scoring 2 to open the scoring.
What a difference just an infield single can make. As here is Ashton Patterson with a runner on. And Ashton Patterson has just had an excellent season, primarily batting in the 9-hole. That one's popped up. It's going to stay in the infield, and Zane Scansey will make the catch. But a 2-run single from Matthew Ward makes it 2-0 Guelph as we head to the home half of the second here on Canada Day. And it was a good first inning for Evan Elliott, but as we touched on, that one play, that one single from Davis Nadal really setting a tone.
Yeah, even more disappointing was that he got a ground ball the very next hitter, and Fuji, can't take anything away from him. He had made a great play just to knock that ball down and has to throw all the way across the diamond to try and get the out at first. But yeah, that one from Zane Scansey's really going to stand out. It's been a tough couple days for Scansey. Got ejected for arguing balls and strikes in the last game. That forced Ernesto Pinales, one of the newer Panthers, to go in there and play second on Monday. And then, it won't go down as an error in the books here today, but a routine ground ball that should have been an inning-ending ground ball, no doubt about it.
Well, this is where the Panthers can really start to turn things around. If they can get to Liam Watt just a little bit here. So they're going to lead things off with Malik Williams, who, I touched on Anthony Gilbert being one of the hottest hitters in the league. I mean, Malik Williams has been doing it all season long.
Yeah, he's been excellent ever since he arrived in the offseason, and just been swinging a hot bat and just, brings that fear into starting pitchers whenever he steps up to the plate. Whether you need, the big hit to find the gap and get him extra bases, bring in a couple runs, or if you just need a single for him or a walk, he's had just great situational hitting, great plate approach, and he has been as advertised for the Kitchener Panthers so far this season.
Here he comes up. Very festive Malik Williams wearing the red wrist tape. As everybody's feeling the red here today. We're matching up here.
Got to get into the patriotic spirit.
Absolutely. First pitch swinging. That one's going to go down the line, and that one is gone. First pitch over the fence, and Malik Williams stays hot, and the Panthers are on the board.
One of the most impressive things about Malik's swing is just how he can show off the power to all areas of the ballpark. You put one up in the zone in on his hands, he finds a way to pull it down the line. If it's over the heart of the plate, he can blast it to dead center field. That time goes with the pitch, hanging breaking ball, and just clobbers that one the other way. An opposite field rocket for Malik Williams to give Kitchener some life.
Oh, and the celebration at the dugout. Not only the mask, but the Canada Day festivities. He's got a red and white lei that went around his neck. Really a nice touch. Junior fields it over to Gilbert. Over to first on the skip in time to retire Ibarra.
It's good to see, the swinging at the first pitch, because with how efficient Liam Watt is, you don't know if you're going to get another good pitch to hit in that bat. Malik Williams is a prime example of that. Hits a home run, but that time Junior Ibarra, the slow ground ball. And, you know, it's one of those risk versus reward things because Watt is just so efficient with his pitches that you really need to run up his pitch count or else there's almost no chance of getting him out of the game before the 7th inning.
Well, here is Yosuke Fuji, and, you know, we've talked about Yosuke's struggles this season, but it's been particularly noticeable with the bat. You know, you'd like to see that home run power come back into Yosuke. Just has not been able to put the ball over the fence with regularity this season.
No, and he announced his arrival to the IBL last season in such a big way. 5 homers in his first 6 games he's played here with the Panthers, and the struggles this year have come in different ways. You know, he's been striking out a lot more than usual, hasn't had that pop that we're used to seeing, and he hasn't had that Gold Glove presence at third base either.
Yeah, just hitting 191 on the year. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Again, 8 home runs last season. He's at 2 so far this year. And it was already at 27 strikeouts on the year. The 2-2, that one's going to miss outside. Not by much, though, as Ward tried to bring that one back in, but just did not get the call. The 3-2, chopper down the line, foul, and almost one-handed by Pete Kiefer, who's over at third base.
Good at bat from Fuji so far. You know, getting that pitch count up is going to be a big part on how the Panthers are going to have success today off Liam Watt.
Gets the sign. Here comes the 3-2, and another one is wasted. And that's what you got to do here on Liam Watt. I mean, if you're not going to get the hit on the first couple of pitches, you know, make him work. Make that pitch count go up.
He does a great job, you know, locating his pitches, painting the black. You know, if you're Fuji here in a full count, you're just hoping that he makes a mistake.
Oh, that one is going to be ball 4. Just at the knees. And to be honest, I think that one should have been a strike.
Yeah, I think Liam Watt thought so too, you know, right over the heart of the plate, but they're going to give it to him for ball 4, and the patience pays off for Fuji. Fouls off a couple pitches, works a full count, and, you know, sometimes the good breaks will go your way. After the Panthers had one not go their way in the top of the second, they get one here in the bottom half.
Well, it's a 2-1 score line, as here is Zane Scansey, and that one's going to be hit right on over to Gilbert. Gets it for 1, over for 2, and they'll get it. A double play to end the inning, but Malik Williams with a lead-off shot over the right field fence puts the Panthers on the board. It's 2-1 as we head to break, third inning on the other side. Welcome back. The kids running the bases. One of them was leading with a Canada flag. Very festive day in the crowd. A lot of people wearing their reds and wearing in particular those giveaway shirts. First 500 were able to get a hold of them.
It's good that it's, the Hawaiian style button up shirt. Gives you the option to leave it open for some airflow. The last thing you want on a hot and humid day like this is something that traps the heat against your body. It was also against
they actually ran out of shirts.
Wow. I believe it was the first 500 fans, so a good crowd here today at Jack Couch Park. It's ironic because I think it was last year also against Guelph at 2 p.m. start on Sunday in the middle of July, where it was also, temperatures right up around 50 degrees the humidex. So these two teams have had to deal with some brutal temperatures in just, a 1 year span.
I remember that too because I was actually doing my day job that day. Had some time to come back down here after the game, after my day job was over, and just talking with a couple of the Royals in the dugout, and they were feeling it. And then Garrett Takamatsu, I still remember very in particular, he's talking about how hot it is. 30 minutes later, he's got 2 home runs on the day.
That was a big coming out party for the Royals, no doubt about it. They battled back from an early deficit in that one, and Takamatsu was a big part of it.
Well, speaking of, here is Takamatsu to lead things off for the Royals, his second time around, as he flew out to the right fielder his last time up. That's going to go across for strike 1.
9 pitches in the first for Evan Elliott, but needed 24 to get through that second. And got to imagine that pitch count would have been much lower if Scanzi was able to take care of business with Davis Nadal at the dish. But Malik Williams gets the Panthers back in business in the bottom half.
That one's popped up. Shallow left field, and Petey Kiefer will get on over to it and make the catch.
Shortstop number 27, Anthony Gilbert.
So here is Anthony Gilbert, and he sent one over to Zane Scanzi his last time up. Gilbert, a 10-game hitting streak. Pops it up, sends it high. It's going to go into the outfield, and Matteo Zeppieri will get underneath it to make the catch.
Just like the first 2 innings, Evan Elliott does a good job inducing some soft contact, some fly balls to get 2 quick outs. But it was that third one that was tough to get last inning. And there's no easy at-bats in this Royals order, no doubt about it. But Miguel Geraldo, based on how he's been swinging the bat lately, he's far from an easy out for any pitcher.
Here is Miguel Geraldo. Hit a soft one over to the first baseman. Back in the first inning, and skies that one high. It's going deep, and he flips the bat because he knows that one is landing onto Highway 7. A solo bomb from Miguel Geraldo makes it 3-1 Royals. A no-doubter from the former Blue Jays farmhand.
That's one of the first times that we've seen Evan Elliott really get hard today. Just turned on a fastball up in the zone, and Geraldo, a huge swing on it. Yosvani Penalva didn't even bother turning around. He knew that one was well out of here.
First baseman number 18, Victor Mascat.
Geraldo's 4th home run of the season. He leads the team in that category. Guelph not really known for their home runs, albeit look where they play at Hastings Stadium. You can still hit some home runs there, but it is a lot tougher to do, as that one sent high into right field, and over to make the catch is Rafi Gross. So other than the Miguel Geraldo home run, Evan Elliott gets out of a jam with no other damage as we head to the home half of the 3rd inning here at the Couch in Kitchener, the Guelph Royals with a 3-1 lead.
Only 5 pitches for Elliott, one of them being a home run, so wasn't that far off from throwing the minimum. So he's up to 38 pitches so far on the day. Liam Watt has only needed 21 to get through his first 6 outs. Panthers are going to need him to throw a lot more if they're going to work their way into the Royals bullpen until it's not too late.
Well, very quickly, he just needed 5 pitches in that inning. So for Evan Elliott, when you talk about pitch count and wanting to go deeper into games, I mean, the results, you have 3 runs against, but 38 pitches through 3 innings isn't nothing to sneeze at.
No, absolutely. Still looking pretty good, and just really that one long inning, the 24 pitches. And obviously we talked a lot about what happened in that frame, getting the 2 quick outs, the Davis Nadal infield single on a play where Scansey probably should have made the out at first, and then the error on Fuji on what was a really hard hit ball to third base, and then was able to work his way out of trouble from there. But just a few small mistakes from Elliott. Done a pretty good job so far, but against this Royals team, you got to keep the mistakes to a minimum because they have been making opposing pitchers pay, especially over the past month of this season.
Well, here is Trent Lawson to lead things off here in the third. It'll be Lawson, Gross, and Zeppieri due up. I really am a fan of the Backstreet Boys.
It sets the mood.
He really does. Some easy listening, but Lawson looking to bring some power here against Liam Watt, as that one's going to paint the outside edge. As it looked like that was going to go off the plate, but Matt Ward brings that one in. Very similar location. Matt Ward brought that one back in again, but didn't get the call that time.
Yeah, good take from Lawson, Watt threw the 1 pitch there for a called strike. Thought, why not go back there? But Lawson able to lay off 2 in a row.
Lays off of that one. Puts the count at 2-1.
Saw Lawson really start to come into his own last year and get a lot more at-bats later in the season. Ended up with an 860 OPS.
Flares that one high and deep all the way back, and that one's going to go off the wall. Lawson circling around, going into second base, and he will get in there for a double.
Great job from Lawson. Not just the swing, but also hustling out of the box and taking a big turn at first base. Lots of hitters will see one in the gap like that and think it's a stand-up double, but he hit that one so hard, and even with J.D. Williams not playing it cleanly off the wall in center field, he almost had a shot to get him at second base, but Lawson, good piece of hitting, good piece of base running, and gets the Panthers in business to start the bottom half of the third.
Now, in a situation like this, do you try to get him to steal?
I don't think you ever want to make the first or the last out of an inning at third. I would even go ahead and say you never want to make any out at third, but with a runner in scoring position, now all you need to do is, hit a fly ball, get a ground ball to the right side, and you advance him to scoring position and still have a possibility of a sacrifice to bring him home.
Well, I only ask it because of the regularity in which the Panthers do try to steal bases, no matter the situation. But you're absolutely right. You never want to be the first or third out over at third base trying to steal.
Matthew Ward did a great job behind the dish last time these teams met 6 days ago. Basically wiped out any base threat stealing from the Panthers, and he did it earlier as well when Pete Kiefer tried to take off.
That one's flared into right field. Davis Nadal will get underneath it, and he will make the catch and throw it immediately over to third. That was a dart to Takamatsu.
Absolute bullet, and Trent Lawson made an executive decision there to not test the arm of Davis Nadal, and it was the right call. And kind of goes against everything I just said, saying a fly ball would be enough to move him over, but, just a medium depth fly ball that time from Rafi Gross, not enough. And now that puts the pressure on the top of the Panthers lineup.
Well, here is Mateo Zeppieri, his second time in the batter's box today. He popped one to Anthony Gilbert over at short. Very good crowd here this afternoon. A lot of people bringing out the umbrellas as well. The 1-0. Chopper to Geraldo. Gets it on the hop over to first in time. And there's 2 away, but that'll push Lawson over to third.
Yeah, that's the kind of result you were hoping for from Raffy Gross. Something to the right side of the field, either a deep fly ball or a ground ball, just enough to get Lawson over 90 feet away that could potentially bring him home on a sacrifice fly or a ground ball. But now with 2 away, it's all up to Petey Kiefer as one of the 3 Panthers hits so far, and he'll need another one if they want to try and cash in on this opportunity.
Kiefer takes one way inside for ball 1.
Kiefer's taken a lot of pitches inside this year, already been hit 7 times on the season.
The delivery, and there it is yet again inside. And with the amount of times that he's been hit, I'm actually surprised he doesn't have like an elbow pad, or that one's going to be chopped to Geraldo. Fielded over to first in time, and just barely getting the out as Muskai had to take that one out of the dirt. It was a hopper that did not get to him cleanly, but he's able to record the out anyway. So we are through 3 here at the couch. The Panthers trail the Royals 3-1.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Welcome back to KPTV Live. We are live at the couch. Mark Perry and Jodry here with you. Top of the 4th, Connor Morrow, Davis Nadal, J.D. Williams due up for the Royals, who have a 3-1 lead on the Kitchener Panthers. A 2-run single for Matthew Ward in the second, a solo shot from Miguel Geraldo, the scoring for the Royals here today. 38 pitches for Evan Elliott through 3 innings. First delivery is going to miss. Looked like that one was over the plate, but it's like it just hit under the knees, according to the home plate umpire. That'll be flared away. Morrow, a fly out to right field his last time up.
Yeah, with Elliott now up to 40 pitches, just kind of spotlights the job he was able to do that last inning, despite giving up the solo shot. Just needing 5 pitches to get through that 3rd inning. That could be the big difference between pitching into the 6th or 7th inning as we get into the later stages of this game.
Elliott really waiting it out. That one down the line. That is a foul ball, and that one did not miss by much.
Not at all. One of those ones that starts fair and then just bends left of that third base bag down the left field line. Trevor Bertrand in a great position to make the call, but that's one that you hit a couple inches to the other side of the bag and you're looking at extra bases.
Count 1-2 here on Morrow. The 3-time IBL champion. The 1-2. Chopper down the line, and another one goes foul. Morrow has been around these parts for quite a while. Was with the Bay Cats. Their run in the mid to late 2010s, won championships in 2016, 2017, and 2019. Was the Rookie of the Year in 2016 in the league. The 1-2. That one's flared into right field. Gross has a beat on it, and he will make the catch.
Talked earlier in the broadcast about how Rafi Gross, looked really good in center field using his speed and athleticism. I thought he was going to be a really good fit there this season, and no doubt about it, if they need him to play center field again, he'll be great there. But he's looked really comfortable in right field these last couple games, and whether or not these are the three that Pete Kiefer's going to go with moving forward, it's always good to know that you can mix around your outfield, especially in late game situations if need be.
Well, and here comes Davis Nadal, and you think about the approach. He hits a soft grounder. You know that the infield is going to try to work a little bit quicker, just knowing how quickly he can get out of the box, as that one is going to miss on the outside.
Yeah, and he's one of those hitters, almost like Ichiro, where he probably gets a few extra infield singles every season just based on the fact that he's a lefty and he only has, a few less steps to make. If he was a righty last at bat, I think Evan Elliott might have gotten out of that inning unscathed.
That one's going to miss outside. Well, the benefits of being a lefty, eh? Never had the opportunity to be a southpaw. I tried. I'm a righty in everything.
I would have loved it. I grew up with a lefty dad, so not only could I not get his old golf clubs or baseball gloves, but I also didn't have the luxury of, being a left-handed first baseman or pitcher or whatever it may be growing up. And yeah, it has its advantages, especially in this game and where you want to play.
I lied. I can kick with the left foot. Had to train myself playing soccer growing up, but that's the only thing I can do lefty. That's going to go in for strike number one.
Sounds like DR Congo might be calling your name.
I think so. They might have needed me today. Harry Kane. That's all I'm going to say. The 3-1. And that's going to miss for ball 4. Davis Nadal will get a free pass. Yeah, the World Cup in full swing. Canada into the round of 16. So they'll get Morocco, who they battled it with in the group stage 4 years ago. Or Morocco, yes. Here's J.D. Williams, reached on an error back in the second. Elliott gets the side way in on J.D. for ball 1.
Elliott has done a great job, and not just in this game, but this season. Having his command work well early in his starts, not issuing a ton of walks. A rare one there from Davis Nadal, who put together a good at bat. Now he's just got to try and prevent things from spiraling, get back to his ways of throwing first pitch strikes, filling up the zone, and forcing hitters to put the ball in play if they want to get on base. One ground ball away from getting out of the inning, though, and he could really use another quick one.
That's the sign from Junior. He'll get set up with Davis Nadal on first. The runner's going to go. That one's flared back, and he'll have to go back to first. Water in the field. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on JD. Taking his time here. It's a quick look over at first base. And that one's going to be fouled back as JD stays alive.
You know, both of these pitchers, they're very efficient when they're successful. So if you're going to have success against them, you got to wear them down, make them throw a lot of pitches. And, after a quick inning in the third, the Royals are doing a good job here making Elliott get that pitch count nice and high.
The delivery, that one's flying high, shallow right field. Scansey still in the dirt, in fact, and he will make the catch, and there's 2 away.
Catcher number 10, Matthew Ward.
Well, they didn't get out of the inning, but gets an important second out and leaves Nadal over at first, more importantly.
Yeah, now, things are set up a lot better than they would have if you walk another hitter and there's 1 out and 2 on. Elliott a big out there after issuing his first walk of the game, and now an opportunity to get his second clean inning of his start so far.
Matthew Ward, the batter, 1 for 1 on the day. Junior setting up a little more outside here. And that one's cued into foul ground. Ward got all of that one, but just a little bit early on the swing.
Yeah, Matthew Ward has shown he definitely doesn't struggle with hitting the high fastball. That's exactly what he did to Elliott last time up when he hit that 2-run single in the left field to open the scoring for the Royals. A fastball that Elliott challenged him with up in the zone. That time, Elliott ran it in a little more in his hands rather than leaving it out over the heart of the plate. But Ward has certainly shown that he likes hitting that high fastball.
Throw over to first, and just getting back in there in time was Davis Nadal. The only other game happening right now in Brantford, it's Chatham-Kent 4, Brantford 1 in the bottom of the 4th. The 0-1, that'll go across for a strike. And you're seeing Hudson Gagne really takes his time before he makes those strike calls.
People aren't going to like it, but I was one of those umpires as well. Keep them waiting. If I can make both teams angry, that was always my goal.
But you do like it in the fact that he does take that extra second. It's not just a immediate call. That one's going to miss on the outside, and Junior got right back up, and you could tell Nadal he was thinking about it, but Junior keeps him true. Patterson on deck. Evan Elliott wanting to keep him there. That one's going to miss downstairs.
No, good idea from Elliott. We know that Ward has hit the high fastball very well that time. Tries to get him to chase a fastball. Just couldn't get him to bite.
I'll get the sign yet again. Trying to keep Nadal over at first. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. First strikeout of the game for Evan Elliott. It's an important one as he gets out of the inning unscathed. 3-1 the scoreline as Guelph has the lead here in this battle of Highway 7. And, that's an inning where the pitch count starts to ride up a little bit for Evan Elliott, but again, more importantly, he gets out of the inning.
Absolutely, and I love the way that he did it facing Matthew Ward. We, just talked last couple minutes about his high fastball and how Matthew Ward has been able to hit it no problem. Almost ripped one down the left field line that went foul, but after going with a couple of fastballs, he wastes one on the outside corner on the 1-2 pitch. Then he goes back upstairs to the same spot where Ward has been crushing the baseball, but he takes a little bit off it with the changeup and just wins the battle against Ward with the Guelph catcher out in front of it and strands a runner. Big out for Elliott and keeps the Panthers within 2.
Again, with the score lines and the games that are happening here today, Barrie in London at 6:05, Toronto in Welland at 6:30. Hearing Welland is going to have fireworks after the game as well. But again, the impact that this can have on the standings with all 4 games happening today. We talked about the separation between Hamilton and CK. There is not much separating the top 5 at all. Hamilton in 5th place, just a game and a half back of the league leaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess at the top, and, you know, in a sense that'll be very exciting at the end of the year. And obviously there's such a big difference between being that 5th spot and the 1 seed. You know, you hear teams say, you know, we just want to get in the playoffs, but there is a big difference between being one of those top 2 seeds, not only getting home field advantage for a series, you know, to start the postseason, versus if you're a 4 or 5 seed, you're playing that 1 game elimination, especially if you're in that number 5 spot. Hamilton would obviously much rather have that game at Burnie Arbor rather than have to travel to the pond.
So here is Yosvani Penalve to lead things off for the Panthers. It'll go Penalve, Malik Williams, and Junior Ibarra here in the 4th. As pitch number 34 from Liam Watt misses down and away for ball 1. Holds off yet again, but that one missed the plate as well. Yeah, Barrie and London have been up there. Hamilton having a couple of really good games against the London Majors in the last few days. The 2-0, that one's going to curve in there for a strike. It paints the edge of the black inside. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Good couple takes to start this at bat from Penalve, but he's in one of these Panthers hitters that you know can get going. Had such a great start to the season. You know, even early in the month of July went on a big hitting streak, but scuffled the last couple games. Really all started when the Panthers hosted the Royals just under a week ago, when hitless in that game and only has 1 hit in his last 4 ever since.
Watt gets the sign from Ward. The 2-2. Holds off. Good hold off there from Yosvani. Thought about swinging, but puts the count full at 3-2.
Yeah, really tough, especially when Penalve sees that fastball down in the zone that he swings at. Then he goes to that breaking ball in the outside corner, but able to lay off.
Gets a piece of that one to stay alive.
A couple Panthers have had some good at-bats against Liam Watt today. Fuji had a strong at-bat in the 2nd, and now Penalve having a good plate appearance here, making the Royals lefty throw a lot of pitches.
Here it comes again. Gets a piece, and into right center it goes for a base hit for Penalve. He's 1 for 2.
Just an excellent at-bat. You know, making him throw a pitch that he likes to see, forcing him to make a mistake, watching a few pitches in the dirt to get the count full, fouling on away. Very similar to Fuji's at-bat, but in the 2nd it was Fuji laying off. That time Penalve waited for a mistake, and that one came over the heart of the plate. Penalve just slapped it in a right center field, perfect spot. And this is the kind of guy that you want to get on for, Malik Williams. You know, when he has guys on the base paths, he has done a ton of damage this season.
Well, he's already done some damage in this game, a solo shot in the 2nd inning. That's going to miss way outside for ball 1.
Usually when you're facing a righty power hitter like this and you're a left-handed pitcher, you want to keep the ball to the outside part of the plate, but Malik proved everybody wrong in his first at-bat when Watt threw him that fastball on the outside part of the plate, and he absolutely clobbered it to the opposite field. He's just doing a great job spraying the ball all over the field over this last month when he's been red hot.
The 2-0, that one is going to paint the inside, and Malik having a quick word with Hudson Gagne, wondering how much of the plate that one caught.
Yeah, just that big sweeping slider from Watt that starts on the left-hand side of the plate and ends up breaking in towards Malik. Looks like it just caught the inner half of the plate.
Get to look, the 2-1. That one's down the line, foul. Malik Williams hitting .418 on the year. He is 4th in the CBL, just in behind Noel McGarry-Doyle of Barrie, Andrew Savage of Brantford, and Anthony Gilbert of the Royals. Also tied with a .418 average, Michael Escada with London, who's been tearing the cover off the baseball all season. Throw over to first, and that one's going to get away. Penalve is going to go over to second base. He's got time. Is he thinking 3? Yes. He's going to run all the way over there and get in there easily. Penalve 90 feet away on a throwing error by the pitcher. That one missed Maskai by a mile.
I mean, ever since that first inning when Kiefer got caught stealing the second, the Panthers really haven't tried to take off and test the arm of Matthew Ward, and that time Liam Watt gets burned.
That's a chopper over the head of Takamatsu. Coming in to score is Penalve, and Malik with a one-run single here in the fourth.
And it comes back to those small things, the small mistakes earlier in the game. It was Zane Scansey making the mistake at second base that opened up the door for the Royals to put a couple on the board. A leadoff single from Penalve, doesn't exactly mean a lot of danger, but one bad play from Liam Watt, when you look at risk reward, throwing over to first base, especially at a ballpark like this, can mean big things, and that time it did for the Panthers.
And that's going to do some big things as it gets through the hole between the second baseman and the shortstop, and that is back-to-back-to-back singles here for the Panthers in the fourth.
And this is really the first time that we've seen the Panthers string together a series of hits against Watt like this in either of the two starts he's had at Jack Couch Park this season, and a couple good pieces of hitting from the heart of this Panthers order. Now 3 straight hits, still nobody out, and Fuji, who's been looking to bust out of his slump in a big way. What an opportunity.
Runners on first and second, still nobody out. Fuji gets a piece of it. Fuji walked in the second inning but was retired as part of a double play. There you see Malik taking his lead. Watt checks on him. Here it comes. That one's going to go into right center, and that's going to drop. Malik circling around third. He is going to test the arm into home, and he gets in there safely. We are tied at 3 here at the Couch.
Well, the problem there for Malik was he had to hold up so long between second and third base to see if that ball would drop in there. Fuji hit it so high in the air. Then once he realized it was going to get down in front of Davis Nadal, he turned on the Jets. Pete Kiefer, at first I thought it might have been a bad send, but because they cut it off at second base with Geraldo on the relay, it gave an opportunity for Williams to just slide in there ahead of the play.
This is the big inning for the Panthers as they want to continue to burn Liam Watt here. Single after single after single after single, and time is going to be called here as Zane Scansey will step in. That one right on over to Geraldo. Fields it, but he can't get a full hold of it, and that's going to load the bases. They're going to give the error to Geraldo on that one.
And Scansey, who grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his last time up, looked like he might have grounded into his second double play in as many at-bats, but hit it so hard right at Geraldo and took kind of a funny hop at the last moment that he couldn't field it cleanly, and just a terrific break for the Panthers. The difference between 2 outs and 1 on. Instead, it's the bases loaded and still no outs recorded here in this fourth inning.
And Dino Ramel coming out to have a conversation with his starting pitcher.
Genuinely thanks you for all of your generous support today. Buy your 50/50 tickets right now.
17 pitches now in this inning for Liam Watt, and still no outs on the board. That's the most that he's thrown in a single inning so far today, and he's going to need a couple more if the Royals are going to get back to the dugout with Watt still in the game and still dealing effectively. I've been singing his praises for the last start and a half or so, and now all of a sudden the Panthers are in a golden opportunity to take their first lead of the ball game.
So here is Trent Lawson with the bases loaded, nobody out. That'll paint the black for strike one. Ibarra on third, Fuji on second, Scansey on first. Swing and a miss.
Two great sliders from Watt to start this at bat. First, he has one up in the zone that just catches the top, and then he throws one at the bottom of the zone that ends up breaking in towards the feet of Lawson, and Lawson completely fooled by it.
Muskai playing in the grass, everybody else traditional, as that one is going to keep Lawson alive, just barely getting a piece of it.
I think Matthew Ward thought he had an opportunity to squeeze that one. That would have been a big first out. Instead, unable to squeeze it for the foul tip, and Lawson gets a second opportunity.
Well, Lawson 1 for 1, hit a double in the third. Would like to do a bit more damage here. Fouled back as Junior Ibarra dancing down the third base line, trying to get the attention of the starting pitcher. Checks on Ibarra over at third. He's dancing a whole lot over there. Swing and a miss for strike three. And that's a big strikeout for Liam Watt.
Yeah, just massive. I mean, struggling to start the inning, 4 straight singles, then your second baseman makes an error on a double play ball, and Lawson, who's already burned you for extra bases tonight, you know it's not going to be an easy at-bat with a righty like him at the plate, and he does a great job. A couple really good sliders in that at-bat, threw 2 of them in the same location and fooled Lawson on both for out number 1.
Lawson gets the sign from Ward as Rafi Gross 0 for 1. Flares one high. Muskai tracking it.
Infield fly rule.
Yes, indeed. Was looking for it, and he was able to get to it in time. Out number 2, a couple of big outs, as it looks like that mound visit really starting to pay dividends.
Yeah, you know, we know what Liam Watt can do, and he hasn't faced a lot of adversity this season, especially in this ballpark. I think, you know, a great call by the Royals coaching staff to go out there, talk to him, and now he gets a lefty-lefty matchup, albeit a very hot hitter in Matteo Zeppieri, but getting 2 big outs with the game still tied, that's got to do a lot for Watt's confidence.
That one's going to be sent foul by Zeppieri. He's 0 for 2. Pop out and a ground out for the center fielder. And watches that one miss inside for ball 1. The flag starting to flutter a little bit towards out of the ballpark, so the wind benefiting the hitters as that one's going to be inside for ball 2.
I know as much as Zeppieri here would love to be the hero and find a gap, he's done a great job with his plate approach this season. 22 walks, leads the CBL, and that's why he's also been such a dangerous hitter at the top of this lineup.
That one's going to miss for ball 3.
Another good take. That's that slider that Watt's been bearing down in the zone. That's what got Lawson a couple at-bats ago, and Zeppieri's done a great job laying off those pitches down in the dirt.
An opportunity here for Watt. The 3-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
He challenged him. He had to at 3-1. Gave him a pitch belled high, and Zeppieri took a mighty hack but just couldn't catch up to it.
Here it comes, the 3-2, and that one's going to hit Zeppieri. That'll drive in a run, and the Panthers have their first lead of the night. Well, they don't ask you how, they ask you how many, and Matteo Zeppieri will scamper on over to first with the Panthers up 4-3, and Petey Kiefer, the 9th hitter of the inning for the Panthers.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of inning you want if you're Kitchener. They've only sent one more hitter to the plate than the minimum in the first 3 innings, and
that one's down the line. That is a foul ball, and not by much.
Not by much. Just bent to the left of that third base bag a little too early. Was almost able to tuck it inside that bag, and there's a good chance with the speed that the Panthers have on the bases right now, that might have cleared the bases for a 3-run double.
Watt gets his sign. Another one as Petey Kiefer hits one to his dad, Pete Kiefer, over at the third base line. Quickly, an opportunity to get out of the inning with one pitch here for Watt. Here comes the 0-2. This one's going to stay fair. It's going to roll and over to first in time as tagging out Kiefer was Maskai, and they get out of the inning. But the Panthers put 3 on the board, and they are up 4-3 after 4 here at the Couch.
Get ready, Chatham-Kent. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Welcome back. Top of the 5th here at the Couch on Canada Day. That is sweltering, as there you see the QR code on the screen. Get your single game or flex pack tickets now for Kitchener Panthers action all season long. We got a lot of games happening, especially here in the month of July, including the Oktoberfest game coming up later on in the month. Scan the QR code today and get your hands on some tickets.
The alter egos around the league have been fantastic. I mean,
really
last year we saw the Forest City Cobra Chickens. On Saturday we saw the Panthers at the Pond taking on the Niagara Lawn Cocks, and I mean, that swag was looking fantastic. I went online and saw some of the merch. I might have to get myself something.
You might have to, as that is going to be delivered in for ball number 2 on Ashton Patterson. Yeah, the alter egos, they don't miss here in the CBL, it seems. And some alternate jerseys as well, not just the alter egos, but I think about those red jerseys that the Barrie Bay Cats wear on Thursday nights. Just a classic logo, a classic look. The 2-1, Patterson takes one in for ball number 3. You saw the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers wearing their Maple City City Connect style jerseys.
Was that the game that ended up in the karaoke festival?
I believe it was. The 3-1, right to Scansey. Gets it on the hop, over to first in time to retire Patterson. As we head back to the top of the order with Garrett Takamatsu. Yeah, that was an interesting weekend. You play 2 against Barrie. Third one gets rained out, but why not grab the microphone before they actually call the game?
Everyone's always already there. Why not? Put on a show for them. They certainly did. Evan Elliott, ever since giving up that home run to Geraldo, has settled in pretty nicely. Retired 5 of the last 6 hitters and has been pretty efficient as well.
Tack watches that one go across for strike 1. Yeah, needed 20 pitches, in fact, to get out of the 4th, but just not as much damage that the Royals would hope for, as that one's laced into right field and right into the glove of Rafi Gross. He gets it on the run.
Yeah, and that ball was a bit tricky right off the bat from Garrett Takamatsu. It looked like at first Gross started coming in, then realized he had to range back and went full extension to reach up and grab that one for a big second out. That gets over his head. It's extra bases.
And this will set up Anthony Gilbert. And, most importantly here, Anthony Gilbert with nobody on base. A guy that has been just very good in that 2-hole for the Guelph Royals on this run. Puts that one right in underneath the glove of Kiefer. And that's a hard hit, base hit for Anthony Gilbert. That'll extend his hitting streak to 11 games.
Yeah, he's been swinging a real hot bat, not just a contact hitter, but has some pop in there as well. That time jumps on the first pitch he sees, and Petey Kiefer might have had a play on it, but it just snuck underneath his gloves. Just such a hard hit ball, like you said, Mark. Keeps the inning going, and that's what the Royals do. Just that pesky lineup 1 through 9 can catch you at any time.
This will bring up Miguel Geraldo. Hit a home run his last time up. But 2 away with 1 on. Looking to hold on to the lead are these Panthers here on Canada Day. As it just continues to get hotter and hotter. 34 degrees right now. Feels like 41 out on the field. The 1-0 down the line, and that is a foul ball.
Didn't miss by much. Looks like it nearly made contact with that bag at third base. And once that happens, it can take any kind of bounce, and with a runner on can lead to disaster. So a big break there for Elliott.
Can you just imagine how the players are feeling in this heat right now? 41 degrees. Probably feels even hotter in the sun.
I mean, you look around baseball for the longest time when the Texas Rangers, before they had moved to Globe Life Park, that's why even in the middle of the summer they would play all their games at night just to try and mitigate the heat that they would have to deal with throughout the day. And although lots of these players have had experiences playing in extreme heat, probably worse than this, it still doesn't feel pleasant when you're in it.
Not at all. Geraldo up in the count, 2-1. That one goes across for a strike. Yeah, this is a day where you just need to stay hydrated. As the bullpen looks like they're going to get started with some activity. Saw one player running down that area. The 2-2 skied high. It's going deep all the way back, and right on the warning track is Matteo Zeppieri.
Good job from Elliott working around that 2-out single from Gilbert. So he pitches into the 70s for just the second time this season. You mentioned, Mark, that we see the bullpen getting active. Looks like Jake Liberta is up down there for the Panthers. Had to think that he might be the first one to come into the game if needed. But I guess the question is, do you go one more from Elliott? Ideally, you got to think that Elliott pitches 6, probably touches the 80-85 pitch mark, and then you can bring in Liberta for the last couple. A lefty coming in instead of a righty also flips the things around and makes things a little tougher for Dino Ramel. and the Guelph lineup.
Well, you got some important games coming up if you are the Kitchener Panthers. All three of them coming up against the Brantford Red Sox, notably Friday and Saturday, a home and home. So you don't want to burn your bullpen out too much, especially in this heat. If you can keep them in the shade and just keep them available but not have to use them, you can make them available for the next 2 games.
Absolutely, and there's not a lot of time off stretches. Obviously, the All-Star game is coming up 2 weekends from now, but not a lot of opportunities to reset your bullpen, especially with what lots of teams in the league have had to deal with makeup dates. The Panthers, they would have been off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but instead they had to play Monday, that makeup game against the Jackfish, had to burn 5 pitchers in that game. Any chance you can reset the bullpen and give them some rest, you'll take. And Evan Elliott is doing everything he can. He's given them the lead here through 5 innings at least. You got to wonder if Pete Keeper will let him go one more time through. He is in facing the Guelph order for the 3rd time, and that's when they got to him last time. So we'll see what his leash will be as we head to the 6th inning after this.
Well, one pitcher that's not warming up for the Panthers is Owen McNeil. He's going over to be the first base coach here in this inning, as Yosvani Penalve will come up for his 3rd time up. He led off the 4th inning, an inning where the Panthers sent all 9 batters to the plate and really got to Liam Watt.
Yeah, just small things, a couple singles. The error from Watt on the pickoff play to first.
Ooh, drops a bunt down. That's in the grass. Barehanding it over, and that's going to go over the head of Maskai and into second base goes Penalve, and they're going to charge the error to Garrett Takamatsu on that one.
Was going to be a really tough play for Takamatsu. He did everything he could by fielding it, barehands it, but then it was the throw that, when you're running in and your body is taking you towards home plate and you have to make a perfect throw over to first base, it can be really tough. And that time Takamatsu just airmails it over to Maskai at first base, and Penalve causing some troubles both with his bat and on the base paths last couple times up, and paves the way for Kitchener's most dangerous hitter.
Malik Williams 2 for 2, a single and a home run. He's got a runner in scoring position here. First pitch in for a strike just above the knees. Watt will get set up. So a little bit of activity in the Royals bullpen. Guys starting to get stretched out over there, as Watt starting to get closer to the 70 pitch point. Down the line, foul.
Mentioned Watt and just how good he's been this season. Only a couple walks, 3 walks in the first 21 innings that he's pitched. Only needed 56 pitches to get through 7 innings last time. So already a massive improvement for the Panthers lineup from when they faced him 6 days ago.
Checks on the runner. Gets a piece of it. No, he did not. That's strike 3. As slowly out of the box was Malik Williams. That is a big out for Liam Watt.
Yeah, one that not only builds confidence, but gets you a huge first down in this inning. You never want to be facing another team's best hitter when you've already got a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Now it just, takes such a big weight off of Watt's shoulders and allows him to pitch more freely here in the 5th inning.
That'll go inside for ball 1. Hearing rumblings that Brandon Deans is starting to warm up. Nelson Mercado in there. And that's going to get through the hole. Base hit for Junior. And over to third base goes Penalve. 1 out, and the Panthers have a runner 90 feet away from home.
Yeah, just a couple of good games now where Ibarra, even though he hasn't been the same kind of hitter we saw last year, just has had some really good at-bats, patient at-bats. That time, the exact opposite. jumps on the first pitch he sees and doesn't hit it particularly hard, just puts it in a perfect spot there between Gilbert and Takamatsu. And now the Panthers are in business to try and add on more.
Well, Junior has been one of the red-hot hitters in the league in the last 2 weeks, hitting .400 in his last 7 games coming into today. Down the line, foul. Yosuke Fuji wastes one down.
It was this part of the Panthers lineup last year that did a lot of the damage for them. You know, Ibarra and Fuji, both all-stars last year that you relied on for a lot of pop, a lot of contact.
That one's going to get over the head. Another throwing error, another mistake by the Guelph Royals, and a runner's going to come in to score.
Liam Watt has been an excellent pitcher this season, but that is just really stupid. I mean, you have a guy at first base who has no threat of stealing second. You've already airmailed one to first base earlier that brought in a run and started a big inning, and now you're doing it again with Junior over at first, who is not going to be stealing second. And now the Panthers have another runner in scoring position.
Trying to drag that one into the strike zone was Matthew Ward, but they're not going to get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Fuji. He is 1 for 1, a single. Also walked back in the second. Check on the runner. That one's going to miss downstairs. As Watt starting to take his time here. Swing and a miss for strike 2. The Panthers starting to figure things out with the bats in the last couple of innings. Check on over to second. That one's going to miss downstairs. Ibarra over at second base. And puts that one a long way. And that one is over the fence and gone. Yosuke Fuji, a 2-run bomb, and the Panthers extend their lead.
Did Fuji ever need that one? What a pretty stroke. Got over that wall in left center field in a hurry. The Panthers making Watt pay for his mistake once again, and it is a party here at Jack Couch Park on Canada Day.
Puts the lead up to 6 or 7, in fact. 7 runs on the board. And another mound visit here, and there goes Liam Watt. We're going to throw it to break. We got a new pitcher coming into the ball game.
What I look for in a Rawlings is a combination of things. Something that will kind of maintain for a long period of time. I've had a lot of success with Rawlings over the years.
What I like about my Rawlings glove is the feel. The feel is everything.
It's good to get that feel in your hands, and when you have a Rowling, it's more easy to catch.
Weight goes a long way, and I feel like Rawlings does a really good job of getting you top of the line leather.
As far as the leather, I usually stick to Pro Preferred.
I've actually always used Pro Preferred. I loved it from the start, so I'm kind of a guy, if I like something, I usually don't change it. So since the first day I signed with Rawlings, I've been using Pro Preferred.
What I like about my Rawlings glove is it's always felt the same. It never falls apart. It feels good every single day I put it on my hand, and it's a mark of a pro.
Well, welcome back. New pitcher coming into the ball game here to take on Zane Scancy. 3 runs on the board for the Panthers. It spells the end of the day for Liam Watt, and in comes Nelson Mercado. First offering, pumped high. It's going back, and that one is out of here. Zane Scancy takes the first pitch from Nelson Mercado deep to center field, and the Panthers have an 8-3 lead.
You look up the definition of a rude welcoming in the dictionary, and it's a video of that right there. Zane Scancy takes the first pitch he sees, fastball up in the zone, and rocks Nelson Mercado to straightaway center field. What an inning for the Panthers. They have really turned things around in the 4th and the 5th, and they are cruising against a red-hot Royals lineup.
Back-to-back jacks here in the 5th, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, Ian, as Trent Lawson is up here, as he's going to duck out of the way for ball 1. You know, the amount of times the Panthers have been on the other end of it, giving up home run after home run after home run. If you are in that dugout right now, you got to be feeling pretty good that you're on the right side of it here this time around, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Does a lot for the confidence in the dugout. You know, it's not a lot of fun being in there when you're down 19-7, and they have turned things around even after, you know, trailing in the early stages of this game. 2 big innings, and there's still only 1 out here. And not to mention some guys that you know really needed to get things going, like Fuji and Scancy. Good to see them have some at-bats and get that big hit in a big moment. Doesn't only do a lot for the team, but a lot for them and their individual confidence as well.
Lawson is 1 for 2. Here comes the delivery. That misses upstairs. Again, a tale of 2 starts for Liam Watt. Here comes the 2-2. That one's going to go down the line, foul. You know, had a good outing the last time he was here, but this time, and in particular the last 2 innings, getting a bit roughed up.
Yeah, and it looked like it might have been more for the same for him. Through 3 innings, had only allowed the 1 run and a couple hits, and that 1 blemish being the solo homer to Malik Williams, but a lot of it was self-inflicted. 2 crucial errors throwing over to first base. When you're a lefty, you know, those are the kind of mistakes that you can't have happen.
That one's down the line. That's a fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Circling around to second base is Trent Lawson, and he's going to get in there standing up.
Couple doubles already for Trent Lawson. Did it against the lefty Watt earlier that time. Turns on the pitch from the righty Mercado, and a bit surprising to see Nelson Mercado. He came in to the game last Thursday against the Panthers here at Jack Couch Park and pitched a clean inning. Only needed 9 pitches and got 2 strikeouts. But Kitchener's come out swinging ever since he's come out of the pen and had a lot of success against him early on.
Lawson with the sliding glove. The 1 out here for Rafi Gross, who's 0 for 2. Checks on the runner. That one's going to miss outside.
The bottom of the order for the Panthers really coming up big today. You know, a couple RBI from Fuji, including the home run. Scancy with that solo shot. A couple doubles from Lawson. Now it's Gross's turn to get back on track.
That one's crushed down the line, but that's a foul ball. Another look on over to Lawson, and time is going to be called. No, very quickly, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Just a busy day in the CBL. Just one other game happening right now. Top 7, Chatham-Kent with a 5-1 lead on the Brantford Red Sox, who, of course, will play the Panthers coming up a few times before the All-Star break, as that one's laced high. Williams gets underneath it. He'll make the catch, And testing the arm was Lawson, but he throws yet another strike to Garrett Takamatsu over at third.
Yeah, although the Panthers haven't officially tested the outfield arms today, they've certainly taken a look at them, seen them, and they know that they won't be testing them at any point. Both Williams and Nadal with 2 huge throws in from the outfield today that have limited. Actually, both times it was Trent Lawson that was forced to stay put at second.
Back to the top of the order for Matteo Zeppieri. That's going to miss inside for ball 1. (8-3) the scoreline. The Panthers, 7 of their 8 coming in the last couple of innings. That one's going to miss downstairs. That's been a very busy day on July 1st. The NHL making a whole lot of noise. So many deals, everybody going to different places. Also, happy Bonnie Bonilla Day, Ian.
Only another 6 years?
Something like that, yeah. That one's going to miss way outside. Yeah, I think 2032, I believe that contract finishes up.
It's funny, you talk to Steve Phillips, the general manager of the Mets at the time, who signed him to that deal, and it still haunts him, but he can laugh about it, and I think he knows the amount that they owe him every year right down to the decimal point. It's pretty impressive.
A 3-0 inside for ball 4, and Matteo Zeppieri will reach. Can you imagine being Bobby Bonilla, though? 63 years of age.
Getting paid millions to sit on your couch, that's my dream.
Yeah. Hasn't seen a pitch since 2001 when he was with the Cardinals. Just bounced around everywhere in the major leagues, but it's making a whole lot of dough as there's strike 1 on Petey Kiefer. Yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky is now a Leaf, getting word that Darnell Nurse looks like he's going to be dealt to San Jose. The 0-1. Kiefer gets a piece of that one. He is 1 for 3 on the day. Zeppieri on first, Lawson on second. Mercado looking to get out of the inning. That one's put into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Coming in is Trent Lawson, and no chance for the Royals on that one. The Panthers add yet another run in this inning, and the Panthers have now, for the second straight inning, have batted around the order.
Just another great piece of hitting from Petey Kiefer. We've seen him display the power. We've seen him have at-bats like that. We've seen him grind out at-bats where he works a tough walk against a really good pitcher. That time just going with the fastball on the outside part of the plate, slaps it into the opposite field to left. And, of course, with 2 out and Trent Lawson running on contact, he scores no problem. And this massive 5th inning continues for Kitchener.
9-3, the Panthers lead. Inside on Penalve, he reached on an error to lead off the 5th and then came around to score. That one's flared foul. Penalve reaching on an error to lead off the inning. He hit a single and scored back in the 4th. His 4th time at the plate here today. Exactly what the doctor ordered if you're the Kitchener Panthers. Just trying to break out of some funks. The 1-1. That one's put into right center, and that's going to get over the glove of Geraldo. Circling in to score is Zeppieri. And it's another run on the board for the Panthers. They're into double figures.
All the innings started with Penalve. The question is, would it end with Penalve? No, sir. Just flares one, a little blooper over the glove of Geraldo, who was chasing it in shallow right center field, couldn't get there. Also a great job by Kiefer going first to third on that play, trying to set up the Panthers to keep on pouring it on.
And if you're the Guelph Royals here, you know, how much do you burn out of your bullpen, considering you go into Barrie tomorrow and host Toronto on Saturday? Malik Williams, the batter.
Yeah, you
with
know,
runners on the corners.
We looked at the Panthers stretch coming up before the All-Star break. 3 games against Brantford, then 1 in Chatham before the All-Star break there, but a much tougher path for the Royals. They got that game in Barrie, as you mentioned, against the Leafs, and then Welland and London before it's officially All-Star break time.
That one's crushed high and deep to left center, and Malik Williams has done it again. This time a 3-run no-doubter, and the Panthers are pouring it on here on Canada Day.
Absolutely unbelievable from Malik Williams. This guy has been as advertised and then some. Another homer. This one, no doubt about it, to the deepest part of the ballpark. J.D. Williams just turned around and watched that one sail well over the wall in center field. What a majestic blast.
Second home run of the day for Malik, and his 7th of the season. As he is 1 behind the league lead. Kanisi Joe and Yushin Oda both have 8 home runs. Trent Lenihan for London has 7, as Malik Williams matches him, as that one's taken way in by Junior Ibarra for ball 1. 9 runs this inning alone for the Kitchener Panthers. Junior tries to sell that one as a ball, but he's not going to get the call that time. It's been a great inning if you're a fan of the home side. That one's going to be taken for a strike as Junior again tries to sell the inside.
For a team that's been victim of the big inning and being on the other end of it so much this year, it's just, you know, does so much for this team, the confidence and the swagger that they have.
That one's a slow roller, fielded by Meskai and over to first in time, and that mercifully for the Guelph Royals will get them out of the inning. But the Panthers, they send 12 to the plate and score 9 on the board. They are up big here at the couch. Welcome back. It was a long inning for the Kitchener Panthers, a long time to wait for Evan Elliott, as there you see our social media. Let's give us a follow, a like, a subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, if you're so inclined to call it that. Elliott's a swing and a miss from Victor Mascai.
That fastball still humming for Elliott. He's going to go over the 77 pitch mark most likely for just the first time this season. This is just the second time he's thrown over 70 pitches, and with a big lead and lots of run support, might as well let him take the bullpen's, load off them a bit today. Busy stretch coming up. Busy stretch last weekend as well, of course, for Kitchener.
Mascai 0 for 2, facing a 2-1 count. Panthers are up by 10, but no more, because that one is laced all the way out. Oh, it's going to stay in the ballpark. Surprisingly, it hits off the wall in right center, and Victor Mascai is on with a leadoff double. Had me fooled. I thought that one was going and gone.
I mean, it was a rocket off the bat from Victor Mascai, but just didn't have the launch angle to get over that wall in right center field and went crashing off the wall so hard, I think it even caught Matteo Zeppieri by surprise out there in center field. He was kind of shocked to see it carry him back in, and Panthers are fortunate that Mascai only ends up at second base after that.
So here is Connor Morrow. He is also 0 for 2, looking to break out of that stretch. Swing and a miss for strike one. A big 9-run inning for the Panthers. And you think about the time that Evan Elliott had to wait on the bench while the team was giving him all of this run support. What kind of advantage do you get if you're Evan Elliott? Not only you get the run support, but also you get a little bit of rest to go with it.
Most pitchers you talk to, they actually like to work quickly between innings, especially a guy like Elliott. So we'll have to see how it ends up faring. The fastballs look good, locations still look good.
That one's down the line. That is a fair ball. Into right field it goes. Circling around third is Mascai, and he's just going to stay there. And that'll put runners on the corners here for Guelph.
Earlier in the game, talked a lot about Elliott not giving up a lot of hard contact, despite a couple homers here and there. Overall, inducing a lot of ground balls, pop-ups. First two hitters he's faced here in this sixth inning, they've hit him pretty hard, and third time through the order. The heart of this Guelph lineup is probably starting to pick up on Elliott's tendencies, locations, and, of course, it's their second time facing him in a 6-day span. So with a lead as big as it is, you got to wonder how quickly until he gets the hook.
That's going to go in for a strike on Davis Nadal. He's 1 for 1. Walked back in the fourth inning. And if you're the Royals, you know how to put big innings together as well. And you definitely need to do that to try to catch up into this one, as that one misses downstairs. Notably, a game against Hamilton, they were down big and put up 10 runs in the ninth inning to catch up and get out of it with a victory. And if you're the Panthers, you're also prone to giving up the big inning too, so you cannot keep your foot off the gas pedal. There's a swing and a miss.
Good slider from Elliott, burying that one in the dirt. His fastball has been hit hard a couple times early in this sixth inning, so tries to mix up the pitch speed, mix up the location, and now he's got a pitcher's count against Davis Nadal.
One, 2 count, checks on over at the runner. Holds off and evens the count at 2-2. The pitch count now up to 83 for Evan Elliott. And a little bit of movement in the Panthers bullpen. So it looks like Ernesto Punales is warming up for the Panthers. The 2-2. That one is laced into right field. Base hit, and that'll bring a runner across. A one-run single for Davis Nadal as the Royals have back-to-back-to-back hits to lead off the sixth.
Yeah, and it was the fastball that burned Elliott the first couple of times. That time he left the slider up in the zone to Nadal, and he waited on it and just hammered that one. Quick bat through the zone and slashed it into right field. You said it, Mark, 3 straight hits. So they have a quick mound meeting, and got to think Elliott is going to have a pretty short leash to try and work out of trouble here.
Just a quick mound visit there. And Evan Elliott will look to settle down. As this is the first time, really, that he's been tested at this length all game. He's really kept the hits down, but it's starting to pile up here. That's going to miss down at just under the knees of J.D. Williams for ball 1. Everybody's passing notes here in the broadcast booth today of all the different signings around the NHL here on July 1st, as that one's going to go in for a strike. Old friend of mine, Nick Paul, getting traded over to the Leafs. Some picks go the other way. The defensive zone draws. You're not going to see Austin Matthews take them anytime soon with Paul in the lineup, I'll tell you that much. The 1-1 swing and a miss. Former 50 goal scorer in the OHL back in his time with the North Bay Battalion. Originally drafted by Dallas, gets actually dealt in the Jason Spezza deal when Ottawa dealt him to Dallas, as that one's going to be popped up. Junior going for it, but he's not going to get to it. And I think Junior had to take an extra moment there over at the Royals dugout. Don't want to see him faceplant down into that dugout area, but he was able to hold the fence. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on JD. Runners on first and second, nobody outs. Junior setting up outside. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And JD knew it, as that is out number 1.
Great job by Elliott mixing up the pitch speeds throughout that at-bat. Went to the fastball a couple of times and just took a little bit off it on the changeup up high, and Williams fooled completely for the first strikeout of the inning for Evan Elliott.
Hasn't needed the K's in this one. He's been getting a lot of soft contact, as you noted earlier on in the game. The defense, you talked about those errors and those walks that we've seen in the last few games issued by the Panthers. As here is Matthew Ward. Holds off on it. It goes high and in for ball 1. Started to clean things up a little bit, and they've played a relatively clean game here today. As Dino Ramel is going to start going into the bench. Former Panther Andy Leader on deck to pinch hit for Ashton Patterson. There's a swing and a miss by Ward. So that'll spell the end of the day for Ashton Patterson, who went 0 for 2. And in a game like this, Ian, I'd imagine the heat might also play a factor too, just trying to get some guys some extra shade.
Yeah, deep bench is always good on a day like this, and they also probably figure that Patterson would have his 2 at-bats and his 3rd time through the order. That might be when the Panthers are bringing in the lefty Liberta. Of course, Patterson, the left-handed hitter himself, but Andy Leader will be from the right side of the plate, so if it is Evan Elliott facing him, that is advantage Kitchener.
Trying to frame that one was Yoon. You're not going to get the call, though. (13-4) the score. The Panthers have the lead. And a ground ball could end this inning. Elliott checks on the runner at second. Here comes the 2-2. And that's in for strike 3. Hudson Gagne holds off a moment, but the K is delivered, and that is out number 2.
Usually you see pitchers that aren't big strikeout pitchers. If they get a few, it'll be in the first time through the order, but Elliott has done a great job here. He's struck out Ward now twice back in the 4th, and back-to-back strikeouts for the first time today. He's really figuring it out and having a good pitch sequence, good pitch mix, and staying mentally tough out there against a really good lineup.
Well, here comes Leader. Pinch hitting. So he's trying to spark the Royals here in this inning with 2 away. Swing and a miss for strike 1, and very familiar with this ballpark. 6 seasons as a Panther. Hitting .239 on the season. Still resides in this area as well. The 0-1. That's going to go across for a strike. Just recently getting hired on. He's a firefighter in Waterloo now. Makes the drive down to Guelph to play games. The 0-2. Gets a piece of it and right into the glove of Zane Scansey. And that'll be the 3rd out. A couple of runners stranded. But the Royals inch back, get 1 on the board, but they're still down big as we head to the home half of the 6th inning. As Evan Elliott gets through 6 here at the couch in the sweltering heat. And I'm wondering if that might be it for Evan Elliott on the day.
Yeah, I'd say so. All up around 100 pitches, which is well over what he's gotten to at any point this season. And you know what? He did great. Even the 3rd time through the order, looking at that 4th and 5th inning when he was able to dance around having that runner at first base. And even here after giving up double single, RBI single to start the 6th inning, back-to-back strikeouts. Then they bring in Andy Leader, a pinch hitter, and he's able to get that soft contact on that line drive to second base. One of the best starts that Evan Elliott has had this season, and he is deservedly so in line for the win.
Well, we're going to see a new pitcher into the ball game here for the Guelph Royals. It's going to be Merrick Deska coming in. The big veteran, 18 seasons in the Canadian Baseball League. A long-time Toronto Maple Leaf. His first season with the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, such a veteran presence on the mound. It doesn't waste a lot of time up there. Fills up the strike zone. Hasn't had the most overpowering stuff, but he can work through an inning very quickly and definitely brings fear to the opposing hitters.
And that's not the only changes to talk about. Some defensive substitutions have also come in as Davis Nadal is out of the ball game. Ryan DeSantos now out in left field. Andy Leader will now occupy right field. So Dina Ramel emptying out the bench, particularly with the outfielders.
And it's smart. I mean, we've talked about the Heat earlier and having an opportunity to get guys off their feet and in a 9-run game here, as much as any result is possible and no lead is safe in this lead, you still got to take player safety in consideration. They are still human, and an opportunity to rest up some of your outfielders on a sweltering day is never a bad idea.
Well, leading things off here is Yosuke Fuji, and well, you see it. Bats righty against the lefty, and now the righty comes in and he's batting lefty. Good weapon to have, and being the switch hitter. That was going to paint the outside edge for a strike.
Saw the pop from the right side of the plate his last time up, a swing that felt like he really needed. He's had a great couple at bats here tonight, drawing the walk earlier on, RBI single, 2-run homer. If Fuji can have a few more games like this, that'll mean big things for this Kitchener offense.
Well, he swings through that one for strike 3, and Marek Deska has his first strikeout of the day. Came in as the active leader in league strikeouts, games pitched, and innings pitched. Marek Deska has seen it all in this loop, formerly known as the Intercounty Baseball League. Here's Zane Scansey. The 0-1. Check swing, gets a piece of it. That's going to go out of play. The 0-2. That one's going to miss downstairs. Deska getting set. Ward in the setup there on the 1-2. That one's going to go into the dirt to even it out at 2-2. Chopper down the line, foul. When we talk Deska, IBL All-Star nod back in 2009. The ERA up into double figures for the first time in his career, albeit he's only made 4 appearances coming into today. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Deska gets another one.
When he first came in, talked about Deska not having the most overpowering stuff, but good fastball location early on, getting those hitters to chase up in the zone and using the pitch location his advantage. You mentioned the ERA a bit inflated. Obviously doesn't have the same stuff as when he was, in the prime of his CBL career 10 years ago or so, but he can still pitch and very much belongs in this league, and showing it in the first couple hitters he faces in the 6th.
First pitch upstairs for Trent Lawson. 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles. And Jamie Cabral is on deck as Pete Kiefer starts to go into the bench. That'll go out of play. Not a bad move to make, as you're up big if you're the Panthers. Just, again, A, try to get guys out of the heat, and B, just if you're hot as a unit, try to get everybody into the act.
Absolutely.
That one's going to miss on the outside. Ward really tried to pull that one in, but a little bit too much movement.
Yeah, breaking ball that started as a strike but ended up outside the zone, and Lawson has had some really good at-bats here today.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
The strikeout earlier, but a couple doubles, and he's had to be patient in those 2 at-bats in which he had the 2 baggers in order to wait and get the pitch that he needed to get extra bases.
Gets the sign. Here comes the 3-2. Gets it out of play. Lawson just working Merrick Deska here. And another one is skied high into shallow right. Over to make the catch is Leader. And that will retire the side. A much-needed 1-2-3 inning for the Royals. We are through 6 here at the couch. The Panthers still up big.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Welcome back to KPTV Live. Mark Perry, Ian Jodry. There you see it, our next 5 games for the Panthers. It is a loaded one against the Brantford Red Sox, a couple of home games and one on the road at Arnold Anderson. And then in Chatham, Kent, the night before the All-Star Showdown. I'd imagine that the Panthers, at least the ones that make the All-Star game, might be renting a hotel on Friday night.
Yeah, the travel schedule kind of works out well for them to go down to Chatham on that Friday anyways, and then I'm sure lots of the players, aren't participating in the game as well, might stick around. It works out well for them, no doubt about it. A schedule coming up after this, 5 straight games against teams currently not in the playoff race, and you can take down the red-hot Guelph Royals today. That's a good starting point on your road back to try and get yourself into the mix.
So Ryan DeSantos actually coming in to pinch hit for Garrett Takamatsu, as there's a swing and a miss. Now keep in mind, DeSantos came in on defense in the last inning in left field, so part of a slew of changes as that one's laced over to Zane Scansey. Over to first in time. And DeSantos is retired on the 4-3.
Panthers fans getting a look at Ernesto Punalis. They got a sneak peek of him on Monday night, but not in the way that they expected when he came in to play second base after Zane Scansey's night was ended early thanks to an ejection.
Oh, and misses upstairs. Ejections have been a theme around the CBL, it seems. I know the Royals were bitten by it a couple of weeks ago on a Tuesday night. That one's laced into center field, and that's going to be a base hit as ho-hum Anthony Gilbert has another multi-hit day. Even when down, things stay the same for Anthony Gilbert.
He has been red hot this season, no doubt about it. Lots of contact, also has some pop in the mix, and to top it all off, he's been very steady shortstop, and whatever they've asked him to do, Anthony Gilbert has done all that and then some.
He's going to miss way outside for Miguel Geraldo. He's 1 for 3. The one is a homer. Punalis gets the sign. It's inside. That one's laced high and deep. It's going to go down the line, and it's fair ball. That is a home run. It stayed just fair. And Miguel Geraldo has a 2-run shot, his second of the day, and the Royals put a couple more on the board.
Well, he turned on that fastball up in the zone from Punalis. We knew that it had a distance. The only question is whether or not it would stay fair. And it just snuck inside the right side of that left field foul pole. And don't put the Royals to bed just yet. A 2-run shot inches them a bit closer.
13-6 now the score, as Miggy's got one on the board. And you saw Hudson Gagne just down the third base line. Really had an eye on that baseball, as that one is cued on over to Scansey. Over to first, in time to retire Maskai. So 2 away here in the 7th, as here comes Connor Morrow.
The DH number 6, Connor Morrow.
Ernesto Punalis taking over for Evan Elliott, who goes 6 strong innings. That one misses downstairs for ball 1.
Really encouraging start from Elliott, no doubt about it. By far the deepest he's gone into a game this season, and did a great job weathering the storm at few points. When it looked like things were getting dicey, he was able to dig in and get out of the inning unscathed, especially in that 6th inning when he got those big back-to-back strikeouts after the Royals had 3 straight hits to begin the inning. It's an excellent day from Evan Elliott.
A couple of big pitches there from Punalis, both of them going in his favor. With the count now at 1-2, and 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. And that's going to go in there, and they're not going to call it a strike.
You got to be kidding me. That is terrible. That is terrible.
That one looked like a surefire strike, but they're not going to get the call, and that one's going to miss away for a full count here now on Morrow.
Petey Kiefer and Yasuke Fuji were already in the dugout. They thought that one was a surefire strike 3.
There's a swing and a miss. That'll be a strikeout. And we're heading into stretch time here at the couch with the Panthers up 13-6 on their Highway 7 rivals here on a sweltering Canada Day afternoon.
Last year, these two teams had some great battles. I mean, they split the season series 3 games apiece earlier this year. It was the Panthers who went to Hastings Stadiums and got out to a big lead there. The Royals made the late comeback push, and then the last time that Guelph was here at Jack Couch Park just 6 days ago, it was Kitchener falling behind early, a 3-run shot late in the game from Zeppieri to make things interesting, but overall they couldn't overcome what was an excellent start from Liam Watt, and kind of just a completely different tale here this afternoon, Mark. The Panthers getting a big start from Evan Elliott, and their lineup 1 through 9 really coming through. 8 of the 9 Panthers in this game have scored a run. Of course, the 2 home runs from Malik Williams is going to be what jumps off the page, but a couple other big at-bats. Yosvani Penalve, a few big singles. Zane Scansey going deep. Yasuke Fuji getting the monkey off his back with a 2-hit, 3 RBI day, and they'll still have a chance to add on to that totals if Pete Kiefer chooses to do so. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a few more pinch hitters come in. I know we already saw Jamie Cabral go out to right field, but regardless, this is the kind of day that the Panthers needed to get the confidence back. We said that, a couple weeks ago when they had that huge game against the Brantford Red Sox, but can you build on that now? In the span of 3 games now, you will have beaten the Welland Jackfish, the defending champions, and the Guelph Royals, who are one of the hottest teams in the CBL. So they've shown that they can beat these good teams. It's just a matter of doing it now on a consistent basis over the grind of a 48-game season.
It's the toughest thing to do. The Guelph Royals have been stout competition over the last number of weeks, but the Kitchener Panthers really catching them, particularly a couple of big innings in the 5th and the 4th, in fact, but the 5th more importantly, to put them up 13-6. But as we learned from that game against Brantford a couple of weeks ago, even if you're up big, doesn't mean you have to stop. Jamie Cabral turns on the first pitch he sees, and that's going to go into foul territory.
In fact, you shouldn't stop, and that 9th inning against the Red Sox was the perfect example of exactly why. That was when Brett Reed came in, and the first 8 hitters he faced all came in to score. He didn't record an out, and Jake Liberta had to come in and save the day.
That one misses up and in. Cabral replacing Rafi Gross, who went 0 for 3 on the day. Marek Deska still out there for the Royals. And drops a dime in there for a strike. And this would be something for Jamie Cabral to get on base. You know, usually used in a pinch run situation just with the speed that he has. The 1-2, that one misses in.
Good take from Cabral. That slider up in the zone that oftentimes can be tough to lay off of because you think it's going to drop into the zone, but he was able to stay off it.
The 2-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Marek Deska has struck out 3 of the first 4 batters he has seen.
And for a pitcher who has so much experience in this league and has struggled relatively when you compare it to the rest of his career in the CBL, he is looking great here against the Panthers lineup that has been all over the Guelph pitching staff here through the first 6 innings. But Deska has come in and done a good job shutting the door.
Back to the top of the order and laying off that one is Matteo Zeppieri. Kiefer on deck, so keeping the shortstop in there. The 1-0, that one misses upstairs. And another one missing off the plate. As you're seeing here from Matteo Zeppieri, 3 good takes by number 1.
Such a patient hitter, but also has just a violent swing that can kind of ambush you out of nowhere. 23 walks and counting now in this season. That's the most in the Canadian Baseball League. And already with 1 earned here today and a 3-1 count, it's just part of what makes him such a dangerous presence at the plate.
The 3-1, skied high. Ward tracking it down, and it's going to drop in behind him.
That one's not going to go on the highlight reel.
No. Well, Ward,
he couldn't locate it. He was trying to get some help down from Davis Nadal, who's now over at third base, and Nadal was charging in. Thought Ward had located it and then realized, no, that ball's going to drop in behind me.
And just touching on Nadal being over at third base now, again, just playing into that utility role, starting out in right field and getting to move into the infield, as that one is going to be fouled back.
He was at third base when the Royals were here 6 days ago and played a great game. Was just solid over there, didn't make any mistakes, making look really tough plays look so easy, and anytime you can move a guy like that around the field just does a lot for your manager.
That'll go inside, and Matteo Zeppieri adds to his league-leading walk total. And that'll bring Petey Kiefer to the plate, 1 away here in the 7th.
Shortstop, number 17, Petey Kiefer.
Petey Kiefer, a couple of singles in this game. And you're seeing just the way the Panthers can roll. You think about Petey Kiefer getting caught stealing in the first inning. We haven't really seen the Panthers need to go to that aggressive base running. Speaking of which, that one's going to get in and out of the glove of Anthony Gilbert, who tries to come over, and Zeppieri gets on base. Well, the broadcaster jinx, I think, on that one.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I haven't seen Kiefer test the arm of Matthew Ward since that first inning when he gunned him down on a great throw on a strike him out, throw him out. And I think after, 5 innings of not testing the arm, Zeppieri got a good jump, and with a righty now on the mound makes it a lot easier to get that secondary lead.
That one skied high, and it's going to drop in left center. Circling around to third is Zeppieri. He had to wait for that ball to drop before he even moved, and getting on over to second base safely is Petey Kiefer.
Yeah, no reason to be extra aggressive and get doubled off. Smart base running there from Zeppieri. As frustrating as it can be to not score, especially on a double, it was the right base running decision. And now the Panthers will have a couple opportunities to cash in a few more.
Here is Yasvani Penalve. The Panthers are now into the 5th time around the order. Penalve has come in to score 3 different times today, a pair of singles. That's going to drop in there for a strike, just painting the inside edge. Deska getting 4 straight outs, but now responsible for 2 guys on base. The 0-1. That one is going to be put over, and grabbing it on the run is Anthony Gilbert. What a catch by the shortstop.
Unbelievable job to track that the whole way. A hit that's falling fast. He had the range to his right and times his dive just perfectly, because if that ball gets under him, it's in the left field, easily scores 1, maybe 2. An unfortunate break for Yasvani Penalve, who looked like he had a run-scoring single. Instead, it's a big second out.
Are you surprised that they're not just going to intentionally walk Malik Williams here?
With first base open, it's pretty baffling, Mark.
Malik Williams, 2 home runs, and he has a third perhaps. Is this going to stay in the ballpark? Yes, it will. Andy Leader will make the catch out in right field, as that one just got hung up in the stratosphere a little too much for Malik. And we are through 7 here at the couch. The Panthers still up big here at the couch.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me in. Yeah. Can't answer my phone now. Just leave it there, that tone. Ballin' can't beat me up, 'cause I'm back in my zone now. 'Cause I'm back in my zone now.
Welcome back to KPTV Live. We are into the late stages of this one, and there you see just how this game has gone. The Kitchener Panthers, a 9 spot in the 5th, really propelling them to the lead here in this game.
For a team that just seems like they've been the victim of a big inning this year, it's just got to do so much to be on the other end of it.
Well, the other way it goes, Davis Nadal just turned onto that one and put one through a house on Ottawa Street. A solo blast off Ernesto Punales, and Davis Nadal has 3 hits, including a long bomb.
And as much it was great from Punalis in that last inning, you know, got through those last two hitters unscathed. He has been rocked hard a couple times. First, Geraldo with the moonshot that barely stayed fair. And now Davis Nadal with an absolute rocket off the bat to right field. 2 moonshots for the Royals.
Puts them ever so close. 13-7 now the score line, as that one's going to go in for a strike on J.D. Williams. Punalis deals. That one just missed the outside there. Game a little bit closer in Brantford. Top 9, Chatham Kent with a 5-4 lead on the Brantford Red Sox. The 2-1, that one's going to miss on the outside yet again. So Red Sox put 3 on the board in the 8th to bring that game closer, as that one's going to be sent foul. And those 3 runs all coming off the bat of Nick Ian and Tona. 3-run home run off of Turbo McCartier, as that one's going to be laced down the left field line. That's a fair ball. And a base hit for JD.
We saw Jake Liberta up earlier in the game. Thought that they would have gone to a righty here to try and flip the order around for Guelph, but want to get Punalis a few more innings, and he's come in and has allowed 3 runs, a couple hits, and got to wonder how long Pete Kiefer is going to let him stay out there.
Well, there is movement in the bullpen, and that is indeed Jake Liberta warming up. Skied high by Matthew Ward. Playable in center field. Mateo Zeppieri camping underneath it, and he will make the catch.
Big first out, and lots of the outs that Punalis has recorded have been hard hit balls. Got the 1 strikeout on Connor Morrow to end the 7th, and he'll certainly be looking for a bit more swing and miss as he moves forward.
Well, here is Andy Leader, his second time around. And good movement there from Punalis, getting that one in on the outside edge for a strike. Leader puts that one through the hole. Base hit for number 11. He's 1 for 2 on the day.
Just a perfect spot. Not a ball that was crushed by any means, but gets between Kiefer and Fuji on the infield, and train keeps on moving for the Royals.
And back to the top of the order, Ryan DeSantos. But it looks like we might get a pitching change here, as Pete Kiefer is coming in to talk to Punalis, and here comes the infield as well. And he hands the ball over, and we'll have a new pitcher come in for the Kitchener Panthers. We're going to send it to break. New pitcher coming in on the other side. Welcome back to Panthers TV. Mark Perry, Ian Jodry here in the broadcast booth with you. 13-7 now the scoreline. One away for the Guelph Royals. They have runners on first and second, and Jake Liberta is coming in to pitch.
Liberta has been the Panthers' stopper this year. Whenever they've needed some big outs late in the games, he's been good when called upon and put into a tough situation here with 2 on and only 1 out. And what was once a 10-run lead for the Panthers has slowly started shrinking, and he's got to be sharp here or it's going to be a brand new ball game.
Ryan DeSantos, the first batter he faces here today. It's the lefty on lefty. That's going to miss on the outside. That's the sign, and Liberta checks on over at second base. Swing and a miss by DeSantos.
2 fastballs to start the at-bat, then comes back with an off-speed pitch over the heart of the plate, and DeSantos just gets fooled on it and swings right through it.
One ball, 2 strikes. Checking in on JD at second. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Big strikeout on Ryan DeSantos.
Yeah, and a great pitch mix. Just talked about the off-speed pitch that he threw over the heart of the plate and got DeSantos to swing and miss for strike 2, then elevates it just a couple feet on the fastball and overpowers DeSantos for strike 3. Huge out for Liberta.
And here comes Anthony Gilbert with runners on first and second. A 6-run lead for Kitchener as that one misses outside. Panthers signing Nick Hoyt yesterday. He is in the ballpark today, being told that he's going to be coming into the ball game very shortly. The 1-0, chopper. Great to Scancy. Over to first in time. And the third out is recorded. We are through to the home half of the 8th. Punales gets out of it. Davis Nadal with the ball, but no more. The Panthers up by 6.
Great job from Liberta coming in and just cleaning up the mess that Punales had kind of left behind him. So right now the Panthers are in a bit of a situation with their bullpen and the reliability. We saw Baldwin Cologne come in the other night. I believe he had 7 walks and only recorded 1 out. So, I mean, gotta wonder, what his future looks like with Kitchener after he was so strong at the start of the season, but has had a lot of command issues lately. But Liberta, although he's had, a bad appearance here and there overall, he has been quite reliable for Kitchener.
Andrew Case is going to come and come to pitch for the Guelph Royals here in the 8th inning, and Case has been getting some increased action on the mound very much lately as he comes in to replace Merrick Deska.
Andrew Case, of course, his big story came years ago at Tournament 12 in Toronto when he pitched a no-hitter for Team Atlantic at the Rogers Center and ended up getting signed to a contract with the Toronto Blue Jays, reached as high as AAA. Of course, St. John, New Brunswick, so got to see him play when I was just a youngin' going to the ball field, and pretty cool now to be on the other end of it. And he comes into a game where the Royals need him to try and limit the damage if they're going to have any hope at a 9th inning rally.
Well, he came into the game last time he pitched. That was against Barrie last Tuesday, in fact. Was part of that 3-2 victory over the Baycats. As he is being counted on yet again here for the Guelph Royals as part of this very deep bullpen that they have. As Junior Ibarra will lead things off for the Panthers.
Just saw a look at that sky, and it looks like there could be a storm rolling in. Always a risk this time of the year with the humidity. You know, thunderstorms can happen in a hurry, and this game would be official at this point, but just a couple outs to go. The Panthers would love to finish this one off and get back to their winning ways and win 2 out of 3 for the first time since the first couple of weeks of the season.
Well, the good thing is the humidity has dipped down below 40 degrees, now 39 degrees if you factor in the humidity, but it's 34 degrees straight up. Just always number watching if you're a meteorologist, as that one is going to clip Junior on the elbow. And he's going to get over to first.
Yeah, it's got to hurt. That's a fastball all the way from Case that just lost track of, tried to hit the inner half of the plate that time and paint the zone, but just runs a bit too far inside to Ibarra.
It's getting very windy out there.
Incredibly windy. Oh, my goodness. Look at that flag in center field. This looks like the start of the Wizard of Oz.
Everybody ducking for cover in the stands. That came in very quickly. A large patch of stormy activity moving through the area.
It's the Guelph Royals, not the Guelph Storm.
Yeah, that's not till September, as that one's going to be fouled back. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the Guelph Storm for at least another 2 months.
It's way too hot outside to be dealing with the Guelph Storm.
Although some really good moves the Storm have made going into the Memorial Cup season. Ryan Robrick picked up, Owen Griffin. You know, just drafting a nice winger, actually, in the import draft the other day.
We've seen a lot of hosts these last couple of years have success in the Memorial Cup, so no reason not to load up preseason, and I'm sure they'll be doing the same in season when the opportunity presents itself near the deadline.
I'd like to see them maybe pick up 1 or 2 more defensemen, though. The 1-1 swing and a miss for strike 2. We'll, of course, have Zach Jovanovski as the starting goaltender, just drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes, the defending Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Fuji as the stormy activity continuing. There's strike 3, and there's 1 away here in the 8th, as this is just continuing. The wind blowing throughout Jack Couch Park.
We've had a day of extremes, from extreme heat to now extreme wind at the ballpark, and it looks like if they don't get this one in a hurry, we might have some extreme rain as well.
Nick Hoyt, the man I just mentioned a moment ago, newcomer for the Kitchener Panthers. He's coming to pinch hit for Zane Scansey, and he swings through that one and misses for strike 1. So windy that I have dust covering
I was just thinking the same thing. I've never seen this before, where it's so windy that the dust from the infield blows up and is on our equipment up here.
My goodness. Ferocious, as Nick Hoyt has to call for time as that wind starting to blow some dirt right into his face. Just look at the scenery here at the couch. A hot and humid day as there is a swing and a miss. And you can even feel it here in the broadcast booth. Everybody running for the fences, as now I'm starting to feel a little bit of dirt hit the face here in the broadcast booth.
The backstop here is swaying too. You can see it moving with the wind. I haven't seen anything quite like this yet.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 away here in the 8th inning. Oh my goodness.
Still a few fans hanging around, though. They're going to stick through it.
That one's skied high by Trent Lawson. Geraldo looking for it, loses it, and that's going to drop. With the way the wind has been tailing around, I'm pretty sure that ball may have got caught in a tailspin with the wind.
Without a doubt. I mean, just looking at the flag in center field, it is blowing straight out to center and then to right. So the winds are swirling here at Jack Couch Park. And right now the Panthers are benefiting from it, but got to think it's not going to make it any easier for Jake Liberta to come in and record those 3 outs in the top of the 9th.
The wind also taking hold of some of the banners of our great sponsors with the Panthers out in the outfield. Cabral gets a piece of that one, fouls it back. Out-of-town scoreboard, Chatham-Kent have added to their lead. It's now 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th. The 0-1. Lawson watches that one miss up and in. Or rather, that is Cabral. My mistake, as that one's flared into right field, and that's going to drop. Panthers add to their lead as Jamie Cabral gets caught on the base path, but he's able to slide into first safely. So Junior comes in to score. And we're back to the top of the order as the Panthers continue on here in the 8th inning on a day that has really turned weather-wise. The runner's going to go defensive indifference. Cabral.
Smart for Cabral to take his base here. I mean, still a 7-run game, but it's going to be awfully tough to throw down, especially with these winds swirling around the way that they are.
Andrew Case, a strike away. That one's down the line, foul. As we continue on here in this game. Lawson on third, Cabral on second. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And we are through 8 here at the Couch. The Panthers up big and looking to get out of this one before the storm really hits. Welcome back to KPTV Live. Mark Perry, Ian Jodry here. We are into the 9th. Jake Liberta on to try to finish things off Couple of substitutions on defense as Cam Bauer will come in to catch, and Nick Hoyt has moved on over to second base. Still on the hill is Jake Liberta, looking to just finish things off.
And he's not only going to have to battle the heart of the Royals order, but he's also going to have to battle some crazy conditions that have just crawled into Jack Couch Park in the last 10 minutes or so. The Panthers benefited from a couple funky hits in that bottom of the 8th inning. Now it's up to Liberta to try and keep the ball out of the air.
This is nothing but cloud cover above Jack Couch. This is Miguel Geraldo leading things off. A pair of home runs on his ledger today. Panthers 3 outs away. There's a swing and a miss. That one had a home run cut to it.
Yeah, and he was definitely looking fastball after. That's what Liberta started him with, and just great placement. Takes a little bit off on that changeup in a great spot and fools Geraldo completely to get ahead in the count.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. There's a swing, and he got a piece of it, just barely. Yeah, the fans have really started to clear out just in the last couple of moments after that windstorm really wreaked havoc on the ballpark. Can feel the temperature drop for sure. Bauer setting up outside. Here comes the 1-2. Missing upstairs. Some thunder in the vicinity as well, according to Environment Canada. Haven't heard anything here as of yet. Here comes the 2-2. That one missing. And as you mentioned, Ian, if this game gets called, I mean, we're in the 9th already. They're going to do their best to try to finish this one out. As the sun's starting to peek through some of the cloud cover here. And the wind starting to pick up yet again, moving outward. Skied high, in behind, and that'll drop just into the front row. Well, that is Junior Ibarra in behind home plate. Just got a job as a woodworker, Ibarra. Was told that he has to work tonight after all this. The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away.
And that's a big out, especially considering the conditions and how hot of a bat Geraldo has been swinging last couple of weeks and in this game. And Liberta bears down and gets a massive first out against the righty.
And that'll bring up Victor Mascai. Takes one upstairs for ball 1. Liberta working quickly. That one missing downstairs. Gets a piece of that one, fouls it off. Mascai a double back in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4 today. You can really feel the cool air starting to breathe in here. The 2-1. Missing inside, 3-1. Liberta gets the sign. Here comes the 3-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Liberta is doing it yet again when called upon. The 3-2, that one is going to be gloved by Fuji over to first in time, and that will bring the final hope for the Royals today to the plate in Connor Morrow.
The DH, number 6, Connor Morrow.
Morrow 1 for 4. So again, the Panthers trying to win here today and try to get in line with Chatham-Kent as they are still leading Brantford in the bottom of the 9th. They would keep pace with the All-Star hosts. There's a swing and a miss, and the Panthers are 1 strike away.
Yeah, and of course that big game next week at Chatham going into the All-Star break. You know, if you can piece together a couple wins here today, some against Brantford, and then you go into that game against Chatham, and it could be massive heading into the halfway mark of the season.
The 0-2, piece of it right on over to Fuji. They have to get that one online, and he will to finish the ball game. The Panthers get back into the win column as they double up the Guelph Royals 14-7 and snap the Guelph Royals' long winning streak as well. Guelph coming into today winners of 12 of their last 14 games, losing just for the 3rd time in the last 15. The Kitchener Panthers do the job on a big inning back in the 5th. We'll be back on the other side with a very quick post-game report here at Jack Couch Park.
Get ready, Chatham-Kent. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Welcome back to KPTV Live. Mark Perry, Ian Jodry here in the broadcast booth, wrapping up what was a fine victory for the Kitchener Panthers, 14-7. They defeat the Guelph Royals here on Canada Day. And Ian, just very quickly, when you take a look at the box score and the scoring for this Panthers team, a big 5th inning really helped them out here today.
Yeah, and said it throughout the course of the broadcast. They had been a team that had been victim to the big inning on the other side of it so many times throughout the season. We saw it on Father's Day against Bear. We saw it this past Monday against Welland, and so many times that is kind of where the Panthers had fallen apart. And there was a few opportunities where Guelph, looked like they had potential for the big inning, but Evan Elliott shut the door. Ernesto Punales was removed for the game. Jake Liberta did a great job coming in and shutting the door. But it was the relentlessness from the bats for the Panthers in that 5th inning that really did the trick. I mean, great to see some guys, get the monkey off their back. Yosuke Fuji, a big home run. Zane Scansey, a big home run. Malik Williams continues to crush the ball like he did. And even a guy like Trent Lawson, who's now getting a few more starts at first base, has a couple doubles. It's starting to get power 1 through 9 in this lineup. And in a ballpark like this, you need that to pile up the wins.
Well, you talk about the home runs. And again, usually on the wrong end of things when it comes to the opposition hitting the home runs. And that's not discounting the fact that Guelph did hit 3 home runs in this game. But the Panthers, they get guys on base, and they hit it a long way, and obviously Malik Williams a big part of that with a 2 home run day.
Absolutely, and I mean, you look at the different ways that this lineup can attack you. Earlier in the season, they relied a lot on stolen bags, relied on their speed on the bases. Not as much today. They're relying on guys to, have good at-bats. They did a good job getting to Liam Watt, who was almost untouchable his last time here. He's been phenomenal earlier this season, and they took advantage of a few mistakes. I mean, there were 2 pickoffs over to first where Watt airmailed the first baseman, and that led to the runs piling up, runners advancing, and, they took advantage of mistakes, which, they haven't been doing a ton over these last couple weeks, which is why they find themselves in the position they are. Today, a great team victory. Hitters 1 through 9 took care of business, both at the plate, on the bases, and defensively as well. Pretty mistake-free overall.
Final quick point, Evan Elliott, longest outing of the season for him as he stretches it out for a 6-inning performance to get the victory here today.
Yeah, and he's attacking hitters a lot differently than we had seen. Last year he was that power arm that would rely on the swing and miss, rely on guys, trying to chase outside the zone. This year he's worked so much on his command that he's done a good job just painting the corners and, forcing them to put it in play. Only a couple of strikeouts here today, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't walk a lot of guys, gets ahead to hitters, works very quickly, and, pitched into the 7th inning for the first time this season, went over 70 pitches for just the second time this year, and he looked fantastic doing it. If the Panthers can get that every 3 games from Evan Elliott, they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. The Canada Day victory for the Kitchener Panthers, 14-7 the score line. Kitchener improving to 8-14 on the year. The Guelph Royals drop to 12-8 on the season. The Kitchener Panthers get a little bit of rest. They will host Brantford on Friday nights. We'll be back with you for that one here on KPTV Live. But until then, he's Ian Jodry. I'm Mark Perry saying so long from the couch. We will see you on Friday nights. Once again, the final score here on Canada Day, the Kitchener Panthers 14, the Guelph Royals 7.